Mr. Dennis.
Thank you, Scott. It's 1st and 10 from the 55. The call of Canadian football comes to Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas. It's showtime in the neon night of the Nevada desert. The Canadian Football League hits the bright lights of the marquees in Vegas. Pay your money and take your chances in the city of the slots. But tonight in Las Vegas comes a human slot machine that pays off almost every time. Slotback Ray Elgard is just 6 catches from a new league record. No matter how you shuffle the deck, the number 34 always seems to come out on top. And linebacker Greg Battle is the pit boss of a young and inexperienced Posse team that has yet to lose in 3 games, as close as a sure bet you'll find. In Saskatchewan, they're putting their money on number 12, and so far it's bringing good fortune. The career of quarterback Tom Burgess comes full circle with his return to the Green Riders. Tonight, the curtain goes up as the Posse and Riders bring their act to Vegas. You're looking at the heart of the Strip in downtown Las Vegas. Bright lights, big-name acts on glittering marquees, everywhere you look, where people from all around the world come to try their luck and seek good fortune. It's hotter than a pepper's crowd, as Nancy Sinatra used to say, and here are the current conditions. 106 degrees Fahrenheit, that converts to 41 Celsius. A warm welcome for Canadian football on opening day here at Sam Boyd Stadium. The Posse versus the Saskatchewan Roughriders. The Posse are favored right now by 6.5 points, mainly because they're accustomed to this warm weather. Both teams coming off big comeback victories last week. Saskatchewan overcoming a 21-0 deficit against Calgary because this man, Don Narcisse, caught a game-winning touchdown on the last play of regulation time. For the Posse, they preserved their first CFL win when this man, Greg Battle, stripped the ball from Sacramento quarterback David Archer, thwarting their last-second scoring drive. The Posse are confident. If you listen to their assistant coach, special teams coach Paul Reinbold, they are confident, bordering on cocky. We'll see how that plays out. For their thoughts on tonight's game, let's go to the broadcast booth and Chris and Dan.
Thanks, Mark. Good evening, everybody. We've got a matchup of a storied, established CFL franchise against a brand new one, a matchup of an established quarterback against a rookie. Let's start with Tom Burgess of Saskatchewan. Helped the Green Riders to a Grey Cup in '89. He's back 5 years later. Can he help them be a contender again?
Certainly can, Chris. You take what he brings to this team. Experience, poise, composure. You parlay that with that comeback victory last week. This team right now has a tremendous amount of confidence under his leadership that they're capable of doing just about anything.
And apparently that's the same way the Posse feel about their rookie quarterback, Anthony Convillo. He led them to 2 preseason wins, and last week they opened their first CFL season with a victory in Sacramento.
Well, he comes in, he has so much quick foot speed. He throws well, he reads defenses somewhat well, but again, he knows he's going to make a few mistakes, but he has the one thing you need in the Canadian Football League as a quarterback to make up for everything, and that's that quick scrambling ability, and he has that.
A lot made of the temperature. You played at minus 40, now it's 40. What would you rather play in?
I would think minus 40 is a little bit better. At least the more you run, the warmer you get, the better it's going to feel to you. In this case, at 40 above, it really does drain it and take it out of you.
Once an Eskimo, always an Eskimo, but we think we're in for a dandy tonight. Mark?
Well, Chris, Posse football isn't the only form of entertainment you'll get tonight. We've got Showgirls, Posse Riders, even Melinda. We'll give you that later, but right now it's time for the formal part of our ceremonies, and let's join Sam Boyd Stadium announcer Dan Bickmore to introduce the national anthem.
Canadian national anthem.
Regulators.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With growing hearts we see thee rise, the true and strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand stand on guard for thee. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please remain standing for the singing of the American National Anthem. Performed by Dionne Warwick.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the free.
Dionne Warwick with a classic rendition of the American National Anthem. That Canadian National Anthem, probably a version you've never heard before. We'll work on that as we're ready for football here at Sam Boyd Stadium in the Nevada desert. You see Ron Meyer, the head coach of the Posse, looking to extend his team's winning streak right now to 4 straight games. That includes 2 in preseason. Nobody expected this team to be as good as it is. They're young, they're fast, and they are brash, and they're doing well, picking up this Canadian form of football faster than most observers thought they would. The Saskatchewan Roughriders still waiting inside of their air-conditioned locker room. Head coach of the team, Ray Yauch, told me this morning that they've been preparing for this game right from day 1 of training camp, making sure that they work out in the heat, they drink plenty of fluids, and they've come here with 4 IV intravenous units just in case there is severe problems with heat prostration. And speaking of the weather, the heat is on. As I mentioned, 106 degrees Fahrenheit, 41 degrees Celsius, and braving the elements is part of playing in the CFL. This was the scene at the Western Final last year. Wally Buono's Stampeders succumbing to the minus 34 degrees Celsius wind chill versus Edmonton. And CFL folklore full of such tales. There's the Fog Bowl, played over 2 days. The Mud Bowl. The legend has it Buddy Tinsley nearly drowned in a puddle. CFL football, the Ice Bowl, 1977. The Alouettes apparently not wearing those tacks in it. Here you see Taylor Field. This was in the preseason. The game had to be called off with about 2 minutes to go because of this incredible torrential thunderstorm. But the CFL has never seen heat like this here in Las Vegas. 41 Celsius converts to 106 degrees Fahrenheit. It has been over 100 degrees now for 29 straight days here in the Nevada desert. We'll see how the football players cope with this. You see now the Saskatchewan Roughriders introducing their team. The players staying as close as they can to the air-conditioned locker room, the corridor that leads from their locker room. The players, though, telling me that they have not made any significant changes in their preparations for this game in terms of equipment. They're wearing the same sweaters. They have small perforations in the jerseys, but don't allow too much breath. There you see Ray Yock coming back to a head coaching position in the CFL after years as an assistant, a stint in the United States, a Grey Cup champion himself, a man considered a father figure to his players, replacing Don Matthews, who of course is now the head coach of the Baltimore CFLers.
At fullback from Bowling Green, number 38, John Daniels.
And of course, a busy day for CBC Sports tomorrow. The Molson Indy coming your way live at 1:30 Eastern Time. Brian Williams will bring us up to date on what we can expect and the results of the qualifying today on the track in Toronto.
A record crowd of more than 52,000 on hand for qualifying earlier today here in Toronto. Unfortunately, the big story concerns the worst accident in the 9-year history of this event. A young driver from Dublin, Ohio, Brian Herta, off the wall right there in front of our booth. He goes into the wall again. The damage had already been done. You'll see the right wheel driven into the cockpit. He broke his pelvis, broke his right thigh, has internal injuries. The good news is A.J. Foyt told me, who owns the car, the injuries are not life-threatening. He will drive again. The pole belongs to a young Californian. No, it's not a Penske car. It's Robbie Gordon driving for Derek Walker. Penske is not on the pole. In fact, let's show you the top 6. Nigel Mansell, second fastest. The top Canadian, Paul Tracy. The other 4 Canadians in this race, I'm a little surprised Villeneuve this slow. He was second in the Indianapolis 500. Don't forget, the Molson Indy Live tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 Pacific, as we return you live to the CFL on CBC.
Here come the Posse. They're introducing the team that will make its Canadian Football League debut here at Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas. And now let's go up to the broadcast booth and join the men who will call today's game, Chris Cuthbert and Dan Kepley. Gentlemen.
Thanks very much, Mark. Sam Boyd Stadium has been dubbed Death Valley. The Roughriders and the Posse just about set for an old-fashioned Western dust-up, kept under the shadows of the Sierra Nevadas. What a great vantage point we have here for this football game. And although the temperature seems imposing, as Ron Meyer told us, once the sun goes down, it gets comfortable here.
It cools off. There's the leader of the Dalton gang right there. He's taking them out there, and he's got these guys believing right now that they can accomplish anything. And if you have that belief, look out tonight. It's going to be a tough physical battle.
I loved his comment about the new franchise. He says it's like when you get into a dark room and you're looking for the light switch. Sometimes you have trouble finding the switch, and sometimes your finger ends up getting stuck in the light socket. But he puts on that facade, but I think he's very happy with the development of this team early. Over half of the roster, 24 years of age or under. So they went with youth, they went with speed, they went with talent, and so far it looks like a nice mix.
And when you put all that together, those elements in the equation, the final product is production on the field, and they're getting it.
And there are the Posse Horsemen. And the fans on their feet, and I think some of the fans were waiting till that sun went down behind the mountains, because they tell us, although you're not seeing a large crowd on the far stands, there are at least 500 to 1,000 people still lined up for tickets outside the stadium.
Well, it was very similar to that scene right at the end of A Field of Dreams. When you looked out there, if you build it, they will come. And as you look, the cars were backed all the way up, and they are still backed up out there waiting to come in. So obviously, these are native people, and they're ready to come to the football game once it cools off a bit.
Well, there's Ray Yock, back in the CFL as a head coach. He's been with the league associated for the last 20 years. Third on the all-time coaching list in victories.
I owe Coach Yock just everything that I've ever acquired in the CFL, because he was the head coach of the Edmonton Eskimos in 1975 that brought me in, gave me an opportunity to continue a dream and do something that I really love doing.
And there's a great tie between both Ray Yock and Ron Meyer. Yock was a running back and a captain at Iowa in the 50s. Let's listen in as Ray Yock talks to his team.
And I'll tell you what it is. It ends when the game is played. Keep it going. Keep it going.
And this is all part of it right here. We started it, and we're going to finish it. What do you say?
And while Yak was the star running back, Ron Meyer was a defensive back in the same conference for Purdue, so they go way back.
They said at least 30 years they've had confrontations, and it really does come to a real tip tonight when they meet on the opposite sides of the field.
Well, believe it or not, Ray Elgard, one of the toughest guys in the CFL, really got hit with a terrible cold this week. They were worried about his breathing here in the heat of the desert and was actually a questionable starter as of yesterday, but Elgard's here. That's really not a surprise, and he goes after the record tonight, needing 6 receptions to pass Rocky DiPietro. There is the youngster, Anthony Cavillo, who has won the job as the starting quarterback in Las Vegas, had a terrific second half last week against Sacramento after going 4 for 6 for 46 yards in the first half. He really got on track in the second. So did Tom Burgess. They were down 21-0 until Burgess rallied the Riders second half.
He brought them back. He kept them confident. I was talking to Glenn Suter, the safety, before this game, and he said all they had to do, he went in and said, defensively, we cannot let Calgary score another touchdown or we'll be out of it. If we hold them to 21, we've got a chance to win this ball game, and that was the end results.
Saskatchewan Roughriders won the toss, but they have deferred to the second half. Number 80, bottom of your screen, Tamarick Vanover. He is the marquee player out of Florida State, the national champions. Won't get a chance here as it's Brad Lacombe on the short kick and a short return up to the 38-yard line. And that's where the Las Vegas Posse will put the ball in play for the first time in the history of this franchise on home turf. There is a big offensive line. They average 6'2", 296. 4 of the 5 offensive linemen are out of the deep South colleges, used to the heat. Great set of receivers. We've talked about Prince Wembley earlier. Whiting, Mayfield, and Harry also can catch the ball. They like Kalen Hall, a Nevada native, out of the backfield. And this is Hall across the 40 to the 41-yard line. He's stopped after a pickup of close to 4 yards.
One of the main reasons they do like Kalen Hall, again, he comes out of BYU, and he is very used to catching the ball out of the backfield.
Well, you mentioned Cavillo and his ability to scramble at times. Ron Meyer told us that he made some Flutie-like plays last week. I'm not sure whether he can match what we saw from Doug Flutie earlier tonight in Baltimore.
Very impressed at the press conference yesterday with this guy's confidence. His coach at Utah State was Jim Zorn, the well-known NFL quarterback, and obviously some of that stuff from Jim Zorn has really rubbed off on this young quarterback.
Well, they have called the Roughriders for a delay of game and moved the yardstick, so Las Vegas looked like they were facing 2nd and 6. And now they're saying dress code violation. We saw that earlier in the Baltimore-Calgary game, so they moved the chains that way. And it's first down Las Vegas, close to midfield for Cavillo. Albert Brown, the guilty party. It's a better dressed CFL in 94. There's a ball almost picked off by the safety and the veteran Glenn Suter in his 11th year. And he thought he had interception number 47 of his career.
He had it written all over to catch that and intercept that pass. He took his eyes off of it. He knows that this team is a vertical team. They use their speed. They get up the field, and they want to get up the field quickly. The receivers aren't even looking, and it hits Glenn Suter right in the middle of the hands.
Get an extra deep back in. Dallas Rosavi, the rookie out of Moose Jaw, is into the game. Ray Bernard, the middle linebacker, comes out on 2nd and 10, Las Vegas. Cavillo back to pass. Moves out of the pocket, over the middle. It's complete to Carl Harry at the 45-yard line. And Harry has a first down, Las Vegas.
Showing great composure right then. This time he gets a lot of heat coming off of his left side, but he's looking down the field. Good coverage. He wants to scramble and run, but now he pulls up, watches the receivers work into the open area, and there he was able to hit a perfect strike and keep this drive alive.
Anthony Drawhorn, who was a graduate of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, makes the tackle. First down and 10 Las Vegas. Cavillo, nice play action, throws in the flat, and this is complete to Prince Wembley. And again, Drawhorn on the defensive play for Saskatchewan.
Great play fake inside, held the linebackers, held everybody tight, and then he was able to bootleg out of his own. This looks like a little bit of a la Damon Allen of the Edmonton Eskimos.
Wembley, the favorite target last week of Cavillo, with 6 catches, 102 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. Posse on the move at the Saskatchewan 30-yard line. Opening minutes, first quarter. And the give is inside. Hall met by Bobby Jurison. Ron Getz was also in on the tackle.
Second down, Murray.
Getz played a starring role last week against Calgary with 8 solo tackles.
Tremendous addition defensively to the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Not only is he very physically tough on the run, but he's got the ability and the speed to be able to be a good cover linebacker.
Gain of 3 on the play, and an injured offensive lineman is Hayward Haynes out of Florida State. And the Posse going through the same problems that Sacramento went through last year with offensive linemen. They've already had a real turnover among their offensive linemen because of injuries. You're not going to see the biggest player in the CFL at the start of the year, Big Ben Jefferson, 6'10", 335. He tore a rotator cuff. He is out, and now they have another offensive lineman down. Looks like Cronenberg, who was a late cut of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is getting set to come into the game in his place. And Cavillo taking snaps with Cronenberg, who will likely move to center. And Kelvin Harris, the starting center, will move across into Haynes' position. Boy, it must be a tough night on these big offensive linemen, though. When you're averaging about 300 pounds, the heat is going to catch up to them. Although this clearly not a case of a heat problem.
All it was is Getz makes the tackle. Here's where Haynes gets just laid quick by Getz. He has both feet planted, all of his weight on that ankle and knee joints, and he gets the leg whip in there, and now he's getting helped off the field. Hopefully he's going to be able to return.
Opening 2.5 minutes here at Sam Boyd Stadium. That's what the Posse have done so far. 1 first down, courtesy of the dress code violation charged to Albert Brown, but Cavillo's look sharp. Where's number 13 and beat out 13 other quarterbacks to win the starting job in Las Vegas. And before the officials will put the ball in play, they have to move the Posse cheerleaders out of the end zone. That end zone's already 5 yards smaller than the standard CFL size. Can't have the girls out there as well. Second down and 6. Cavillo on a roll, throwing deep into the end zone. Touchdown! Curtis Mayfield scores the first touchdown in Posse history in Las Vegas.
Tell me when to write.
Well, the rookie Cavillo looking sharp on the opening drive.
Ron Getz, the linebacker, gets caught deep inside on his outside blitz, and that allows Cavillo to get outside, gets plenty of time, and all he does is throw a super strike.
Behind Aaron Ruffin, Glenn Suter couldn't get over in time, and Huerta adds the extra point. Touchdown scored at 3:11 first quarter, and the Posse jumped to an early lead. Well, there's Curtis Mayfield. We saw Las Vegas at BC Place Stadium for the first preseason game, and immediately we saw that speed that they have at the receiver position.
Without a doubt, and this is the thing, as I mentioned earlier in this broadcast, they know their speed. They're going to have to want to get vertical, go for the big bomb. So what Saskatchewan is going to try to do, what I can anticipate, is watch them lay back, play some zones, make them run possession routes, curls, hooks, that kind of stuff, to eliminate some of that speed and take away, and then sooner or later bait them into throwing the ball deep downfield, and then have a guy like Suter come in and be able to make the interception.
Posse have a unique style, setting up on their kickoff coverage team, and the punter Robbie Keane will put it on the tee. There's the scoring drive, 7 plays, capped by the 28-yard Mayfield touchdown. And Keene with a strong leg, the leading punter in the league, drops it deep, and that's Larry Thompson at his 6. And Thompson, with flags flying, is across the 25 to the 27. And that's where Saskatchewan will put the ball in play when we return to Sam Boyd Stadium.
Updating our other CFL game this evening out of town in Shreveport, the Toronto Argonauts have just taken the lead by 1 point, 35-34 over the Pirates, when Mike Kerrigan hit Jeff Fairholm for a big touchdown pass. Of course, earlier tonight, Baltimore CFLers losers to Calgary, the score 42-16 in their home opener before more than 40,000 fans at Memorial Stadium. Chris?
Oh, Mark, I guess we can put away all the concerns about Doug Flutie and the Calgary Stampeders that we kept hearing about.
I don't think there was any concerns at all. I would think that the one thing that happened, last year they went 10-0 before somebody gave them a wake-up call. It happened in the first game of this season, and now look out for the rest of the league, because these guys have purpose and they have focus, and when they have all of that together, you can see what the end results can be.
Tough spot for Tom Burgess for his opening possession of this game. Sean Daniels called on a clip on that Larry Thompson kickoff return, and so Saskatchewan must start from their own 8-yard line. In a hole already, down by a touchdown. Saskatchewan looking for a better start to this football game than last week against Calgary when they were blanked in the first half. And the opening carry is to Big Sean Daniels. Check that, Mike Saunders, the running back, and safety David Hollis, the 3-year veteran of the Seattle Seahawks, making the stop. Here is the lineup. Anderson, the veteran center. Great receiving corps. Donald Narcisse was there when Tom Burgess was a quarterback from 87 to 89. Larry Thompson had an outstanding year with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers a couple of seasons back, 1,192 yards. And of course, we're watching Ray Elgard tonight in pursuit of the all-time Canadian Football League reception mark. And the carry by Saunders will require a measurement. And the sticks come out.
What a great sparring match this is going to be between Ray Elgard and the defensive backs of the Posse, because these guys of the Posse play extremely physical, and that falls right into the kind of game that Ray Elgard likes to play.
It's second down and just a little bit.
Just short. So second down and less than a yard for Elgard and the Roughriders. And they set up a power eye situation. 4 lined up, and they all go in motion as Burgess will keep and should have the necessary foot or two for the first down.
Strictly window dressing. That's all they wanted to see how it does. They line up in that power eye, comes running out, see if the defense is going to react to it.
Well, we talked about the youngsters on the Posse. They do have 3 veterans in this defense. 75 Roy Hart from the Hamilton Tiger Cats, of course, Greg Battle in the middle, and David Hollis. Hollis and Hart are 29. Battle is 30. They are the 3 oldest players on the Las Vegas Posse. There is Roy Hart, who got a game ball last week for his outstanding pass rush against Sacramento. And another carry by Saunders. So Saskatchewan trying to establish the run early against Las Vegas. And you know the folks up in Saskatchewan are happy about that.
Well, they really are. They think that this guy could be the next George Reed. He wants to carry the ball. Saskatchewan feels that they can run the ball against this defensive line, primarily because it is a little smaller in size than some of the defensive lines that they see. A guy like Sawyer is only 234 pounds, so they want to take advantage of that.
8 yards for Saunders, 2nd and 2, motion left, but they give it back near side, and Saunders stopped at the 30-yard line. He'll be close to a first down. Ball came loose after the whistle, and Jeff Sawyer did make the tackle for Las Vegas.
First down, we'll move it.
It is a first down. Saunders, 9 carries, 50 yards last week against Calgary.
Talking to Ray Yock yesterday, the one thing that he said that really disturbed him and concerned him a lot was this Las Vegas defense and their pursuit. They have tremendous team speed, and once they get there, they strike you with a blow.
And again, they go to Saunders, and he'll try to get outside, but that's a quick pursuit defense of Las Vegas, and they don't let him turn the corner. There is a flag down.
Could be a face mask penalty right at the mask.
15 is the Rover, Cedric Crawford. And it is going to go against Las Vegas. Shanti Peoples was also around the play, and he may be the man who gets penalized.
Major loss. Grabbing the face. First down.
You get a really good look this time. Just a quick toss out to Saunders. He breaks containment around the outside, but they stretch it out extremely well, make him run from sideline to sideline, and right at the last minute, Crawford gets a hand in there on the face mask and a quick call.
Bad penalty for Las Vegas to take after defending so well against that sweep attempt. And so with the penalty, it's out at the Saskatchewan 45-yard line. First down, and Burgess goes to the air. Out in the flat, there's Larry Thompson, big receiver last week, and he's close to midfield before Al Jordan pulls him down. What a story. Larry Thompson returning to the Canadian Football League, and there you see his impressive numbers from last week against Calgary.
All the trials and tribulations that he's gone through in his life and recently in the past few years, to come back and to perform as well as he is a real compliment to that young man.
Victim of a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas. Didn't look like he would ever play football again, but he rehabbed, actually came to Las Vegas first, was cut by the Posse, won a job in Saskatchewan. Quick pitch to Saunders, and he gets to midfield and should have another Saskatchewan first down. Just over 7 minutes have been played here, first quarter, at Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada, where the Posse have a 7-0 lead.
Saunders, the ball carrier, brought down by Roy Hart. First and 10 on the 55. The Posse would like to thank Deacon Hoover, your careful...
So it is a first down, and Saskatchewan keeping it on the ground after a very listless performance last week, rushing the football. Tom Burgess doing a good job of setting a different tone here. Rolling, complete to Thompson, but a flag down, and we'll find out if this is coming back.
I don't think so. I think what we're going to have is that they got Calvin Nicholson. It was coming on a halfback blitz, and I think he just got called for the offsides.
An option for Burgess, but he'll take the completion and a first down if that is the case.
Offside, Las Vegas, number 4. Decline. Stop.
Just at the bottom of your screen, you can see Calvin Nicholson caught in the no man's land, right in the zone. Gets called for the offsides.
Nicholson with an interception last week against Sacramento. Tom Burgess has the Green Riders on the move. Midway through the first quarter, ball now at the 44-yard line of Las Vegas. Saunders the lone setback. Burgess straight back, looking for Elgard, but Nicholson had him all wrapped up. Roy Hart was putting pressure on Burgess.
Nicholson did a great job on Elgard that time. Elgard just came off the line of scrimmage. All he wanted to do was do a little curl route. Nicholson fronted him up. Elgard slid to the inside. Burgess thought he was sliding to the outside, and they just guessed wrong. Good defense.
Elgard, 7 catches, 128 yards last week, and now at 701 receptions in his career. 2nd and 10, Saskatchewan. Burgess again, looking over the middle. Saunders, complete inside the 15. Well, he used to play wide receiver at Iowa, and he shows you his great receiving abilities there for a 30-yard pickup.
Terrific all-purpose back this time. That big offensive line of Saskatchewan does a great job. Tommy Burgess got a full view downfield. Catches Saunders just as he gets right behind Greg Battle, lays it in there with a touch. He can see right there that number 32, that's Brad Lacombe, is coming on the blitz, but he still stands in there, takes the lick, and delivers the ball.
Remember, this drive started at the Saskatchewan 8-yard line. Burgess goes back. Look for Elgard, he was covered. Now he'll take off with it, and the hook slide inside the 10. Roy Hart again around the quarterback for Las Vegas.
Burgess showing some great experience again. As he broke out of containment, he's still got the ball caught up inside. He's looking to see if he can draw any of the defenders up. The players and the receivers of Saskatchewan know that if he breaks out, work to an open spot, and Tommy will find you and try to get the ball to you, and that's exactly what they were doing. Defense of the Posse did an excellent job of staying with their guys.
2nd and 5 from the 9. Short drop Burgess. End zone for Saunders. He can't hang on. Not the result that Saunders or Burgess wanted, but an impressive opening drive.
Takes a good look. Tommy Burgess is looking. He's got Saunders wide open. He's just had to throw the ball. Saunders catches it as it hits right into his hands. You can see the battle that's taking place with Elgard and Nicholson. And as I said, this is going to be a tremendously physical football game.
So Dave Ridgway comes on, and as you can see, 3 times drive stalled last week against Calgary, and Ridgway was called upon for short field goals. And he'll attempt this from the 16. Suter the holder, and Ridgway's automatic from that range. Saskatchewan's on the board. It's 7-3 with 5:15 left in the first quarter.
Welcome back to Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas, where the Posse hold a first quarter 7-0 lead over the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And this, in fact, is the real Posse. Entertainment all the time here in Las Vegas. 8 Posse riders, and here's the guy that leads up the gang, Max Bickley. Max, is this what a real Posse looks like?
Well, yes, it is. It represents the Posse of the 1800s.
Now, who are you then?
I'm their drill master for the drill.
Now, Calgary Stampeders have 1 horse and a rider, and they run on the field when they score a touchdown, but you guys go 8 better. Is that your job?
Well, we have at least 2, and we may get larger down the road. It depends on how big the score is for the Las Vegas Posse.
Now listen, I understand these horses have got to wear special footwear to negotiate this artificial turf.
That is correct. They have to have a rubber shoe attached to their iron shoe, and one of our members, the shoer, he drilled and tapped the shoes and attached it with bolts, the rubber to the shoe. Works very good on the AstroTurf.
Thanks, Max. So these horses wearing artificial turf shoes just like the players, Chris.
And Mike Clark's shoes took him all the way up to the 49-yard line. A nice return for the Posse, and pretty good field position for Cavillo to start his second drive. Well, 2 great drives we saw. Las Vegas a little quicker and more lethal. Saskatchewan taking almost 6.5 minutes off the clock in their field goal drive. First down. And Kalen Hall dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Great defensive play by Rogers coming into the game, his first CFL start. And he makes a play behind the line of scrimmage on Kalen Hall.
Coming from the left of your screen, Rogers comes in, and it's going to be just a counter trap. He avoids both the trapper guys, comes underneath, submarines, and makes a big tackle.
Gary Rogers in the lineup for Saskatchewan because Dan Rashovich broke his leg last week against Calgary. That didn't stop him from finishing the game. I can't believe Rashovich isn't here this week. Playing on a broken leg last week. He's been watching too many Bobby Bond replays. Hall on second down, stopped just over the line of scrimmage by Ron Getz, the other linebacker for Saskatchewan. And it's 2 and out this time, Las Vegas.
Quick story just back to Raz for a second. And Rastovich, he comes off the sidelines from what all I can understand and says, Coach, he says, my lateral's a little weak, my lateral movement, but I can run straight ahead on this broken leg.
Neil Payne has just charged Saskatchewan's defense with a roughing the passer penalty, and it won't be 2 and out. Gary Lewis and Richard Glover taking an extra shot. Glover, a rookie. Lewis, a 12-year veteran.
And you can see the reaction of Gary Lewis right after that happened. He looks over at Glover and says, there's no need for that. Just calm down, cool, keep it cool, and you'll be okay.
Hard to keep cool tonight. At the 44 of Saskatchewan, they'll do the reverse to Mayfield, who scored the touchdown, and a terrific play by Sean Brantley, the nose tackle, as he hauled down Mayfield just from behind.
A lot of pressure on Brantley coming in. He's got to feel the shoes of Gerald Bayless, who went to Baltimore, but he does a tremendous job. Makes the movement going outside, reads the screen, reads the reverse, and then he goes down the line of scrimmage. He's not trying to get up the field. He goes down the line of scrimmage into an angle of pursuit and is able to clothesline him.
That's as good a play as a nose tackle could make. That was vintage Gerald Bayless.
You can't ask for much more from your nose tackle than that, or anybody else on that defense.
Gain of 1 at 2nd and 9, and Cavillo goes to the air and has an open receiver. Hall And he has lots of running room inside the 10. He'll score. Touchdown, Kalen Hall. 44 yards, and the Vegas Posse add to their lead.
This is exactly what Saskatchewan didn't want to do, is to get into a man-to-man situation. It's a very simple pass. It's just a blown coverage by Gary Rogers, the linebacker. He allows Kalen Hall to break through out of the backfield, misses his coverage, and then all Kalen has to do is get to the end zone, and he does a good job of that.
Yeah, Gary Rogers, a former nose tackle at Vanderbilt. Don't know how much he's been involved in pass coverage situations, but that was a mismatch. Kalen Hall with his first CFL touchdown. Ron Meyer told us he's a lot like Mike Oliphant of the Sacramento Gold Miners.
Plenty of time to throw the ball, looking to throw the ball downfield, but then he comes to the safety valve pass. And all that is Kalen Hall going up, trying to see if the linebackers are coming on a rush or a blitz. Nobody's coming, and all he does is slide out into the flat for the safety valve, gets the pass, and makes the big 6 points.
There's the Posse. Horseman out on the field. And it's 14-3 Las Vegas. Late in an entertaining first quarter here at Sam Boyd Stadium, also called Sam Boyd Silver Bowl. It's a spot where they play a major college bowl game at the end of the season. In fact, it was a bowl game that Anthony Cavillo starred in last year. Well, once again, it doesn't take long for Las Vegas to get the job done. 2:23, and again, it's the punter Robbie Keane kicking off. Booms another, and this is Aaron Ruffin. Once again, the speedy Las Vegas Posse bring him down quickly. Zed Robinson with the tackle. Back with the Saskatchewan possession after this.
The field led by this man, Greg Battle. Greg Battle once voted the CFL's Outstanding Defensive Player of the Year. He is a Grey Cup champion, a premier linebacker in the Canadian Football League who for years patrolled Winnipeg's vaunted defense. A quiet leader by example, but he's traded the icy plains of Manitoba and Winnipeg for the desert sands of Nevada, where now he leads the defense for the Posse.
I enjoyed my time in Winnipeg. I have no quarrels about anything that happened in Winnipeg. As you know, it was pretty much a fairy tale type career. So I'm hoping to start something or get something going here in Vegas in the same way.
Greg Battle, the veteran, leading this young and brash and very talented defense for the Posse, who now have a 14-3 lead over the Roughriders here late in the first quarter. Back upstairs, Chris.
And Markey, of course, needs no introduction to the Saskatchewan quarterback, Tom Burgess. They were on the 1990 Grey Cup champion team in Winnipeg together. Again, Mike Saunders has been the workhorse in this first quarter for Saskatchewan. That time, Brad Lacombe brings Saunders to the turf.
Saunders, the ball carrier. Gain of 7 on the play, second down and 3.
And they spot the ball at the 31-yard line, a gain of close to 7 for Saunders.
Tommy Burgess really established a rushing game with Saunders and running behind Paul Viada at 275 and Big Daniel Payne at 6'7", 300 off that right side. Payne is matched up against Jeff Saunders. As I said earlier, he's 234. There's where the mismatch comes.
Second down, and Burgess in the flat has a completion to Sean Daniels, a first down, and he's belted out of bounds at about the 45-yard line, and the player's kind of disappeared below the near stands. Maurice Kelly hit him out of bounds, but it's tight quarters on this field.
Very tight quarters. Calvin Nicholson comes in on a halfback blitz again, and that allows Daniels just to stand out there all by himself. All they had to do was play pitch and catch. Actually, this field, from my understanding, has actually been narrowed. It's been moved in 1 yard on either side to make the width 63 yards instead of 65, just because of that shortness.
Kind of like the Boston Garden of the CFL stadiums, and bruised up there is Tom Burgess, taken down by the blitzing Brad Lacombe.
Brad Lacombe coming from the left side at the linebacker position is good coverage downfield, and that allows Lacombe to come in scot-free and take a shot at Tommy Burgess. I knew I liked Lacombe as soon as I read up about him and talked to him a little bit, because he lists Dick Butkus as his idol.
In the final minute of the first quarter, second and long for Burgess. Better protection over the middle, has a completion, it's Larry Thompson. And Thompson's into Posse territory, brought down at the 37-yard line. He made a key reception in the final drive last week against Calgary, covering 50 yards.
So very key right now for this offensive line to block. The two slots are running up the field streak patterns, and it's really deep, deep ends. And here comes the in route right there, right on the money to Larry Thompson. He looks the ball in, does an excellent job of holding on to it, even though Al Jordan, the defensive corner, had a good chance to try to strip it.
34 yards for the comeback story of this early season. Larry Thompson, final play, first quarter, barring a penalty, and it's Saunders. And he just gets to the 35, short yardage, maybe 2. And once again, Brad Lacombe, who's been a busy linebacker in this first quarter, makes the tackle. It was a good quarter for Las Vegas. They have an 11-point lead. Chris Cuthbert, Dan Kepley, Mark Lee, and the CFL on CBC crew. Hope you're enjoying the second half of our CFL on CBC doubleheader from Las Vegas. Let's check the numbers. After 15 minutes of play, 14-3. Las Vegas has the lead. First down, Saskatchewan has 8. Pretty even as far as yards passing. An edge for Saskatchewan in yards rushing. And time possession, no turnovers, but it's an 11-point Posse lead.
It shows the opposite ends of the spectrum. A very conservative type, grind it out, make sure you're going to be there in the fourth quarter kind of Saskatchewan team against the gambling Las Vegas Posse. And they're here to make a big play, and they have done that.
A couple of big plays, a 28-yard touchdown pass to Mayfield, a 44-yarder to Hall, while Mike Saunders dropped one in the end zone. A nice pass from Burgess that went for naught. Second down, 9. Burgess throws. There's Elgard. And he has pass number 702. Tough guy to bring down at the 25-yard line. It's a first down. Finally, David Hollis brought Elgard to the turf.
Elgard's very simple in coming off the line of scrimmage. All he wants to do is break out. It gives him plenty of room. Elgard looks to pass in. Now, here's something that these defenders aren't going to be used to, is the toughness that Elgard possesses. He's like a big tight end that they normally would be used to in the college system.
That is up to date. 4 behind Rocky DiPietro to tie for the all-time Canadian Football League reception lead. First down, Gibbs, Saunders on the draw, and he's brought down at the 23. Nice play by guess who? 34, Greg Battle.
When that fullback sets in there, once the quarterback takes the snap, he's in there for a reason. And Greg Battle just sits there in the middle of the screen and just takes a look at it, looks on both sides, makes an excellent play. Tremendous quick feet and unbelievable power in his legs that he's able to get off of those blocks and make solid tackles.
Well, Saskatchewan 7 for 8. The only one they failed to convert, the drop pass by Saunders. Here's a pass behind Farthing. So they'll now be 7 for 9 second down conversions. Garrett Greedy out of UCLA was bearing down on Burgess.
This Las Vegas team is not leery of bringing the heat at any time. They're used to playing in it. They want to turn it up on everybody, and that's what they're going to do against Tommy Burgess. They figure they can take him off his rhythm, make him throw the ball off balance sometimes. They got a better chance to win this football game.
Well, Dave Ridgway's longest field goal of the year, just 22 yards. He missed from 47 and 50 last week. This from 30. And again, Ridgway usually automatic from that position. He is again. 2 touchdowns for the Posse. Now 2 Ridgway field goals for Saskatchewan. It's 14-6 Las Vegas. Well, Dave Ridgway not yet at 100%. He tried to put the best foot forward in talking about it today, but plagued by an Achilles tendon problem throughout training camp, also a hamstring problem earlier. Not 100%, but when he is, he's maybe the best the CFL's ever had kicking field goals.
He didn't get that robo kicker for any particular reason other than the fact that he is consistent and he is a guy that you can count on to come in and get the job done. Good look at Ron Myers over there taking a look at his depth chart and the play selections. Very intense coach. He'll give you that facade about a few things that, you know, he's a happy-go-lucky and, you know, we're just happy to be here kind of guys. But they're 3-0. They know, he knows that he's got a very good football team. Now he just has to make sure he takes all that talent, all that speed, and all that strength, and just be able to channel it in the right direction.
Yeah, we talked to him earlier in the week, and how you doing, Coach? You've won 3 in a row. Oh, we got a team. These guys are unbelievable. They're just not getting it. They're really slow to pick up the game, you know. But the true story is he has put together a solid Las Vegas team right out of the chute, and that time Ridgway kicks it out of bounds. He'll have to do it over 5 yards further back. There is the big return man for Las Vegas. Hasn't really had a chance to get on track so far. Out of Florida State, the national champions. He left with 2 years of college eligibility, and actually there are storm clouds brewing over him and Florida State. He was signed by an agent while still at the school, allegedly a recruiting violation. And allegedly that agent got loans for his mother of $23,000. He will not comment on the allegations made by Sports Illustrated, but he is here now and a professional, so I guess it's all behind him.
And he was somewhat suspect about being able to play in this game. He had a very serious bout of the flu or cold early in part of the week, and Coach Meyer wasn't exactly sure whether he was going to be able to start or not.
We've seen teams kick away from Vanover so far this year, but he'll have a chance here and has trouble finding the handle. He is dangerous, though. Up near the 35-yard line after the stuttering start to that return. 68-yard kickoff by Ridgway, 22 yards for Vanover, and Ron Getz was the man who finally brought him down.
Kickoffs and punt returns are such special teams of timing. And again, when you drop the ball or fumble the ball, you mess up the blocking somewhat and you miss your daggone opening and your spot.
All right, Cavillo, 2 drives, 2 touchdowns, hasn't wasted any time. In the flat, it's a completion to Harry. Nice defensive play there. He's taken out quickly as we go down and join Mark Lee.
Chris, let's bring our viewers up to date on the out-of-town scores tonight. This is a final. The Argonauts coming back to defeat the Shreveport Pirates by 1 point. That late Mike Kerrigan touchdown pass, the difference. And of course, earlier this evening in Baltimore, the home opener for the CFLers, they go down to defeat 42-16 to Doug Flutie and the Stampeders. Chris?
Calgary, Baltimore, Toronto now all 1-1. Shreveport 0-2, but much improved. They were 14.5-point underdogs going into that game tonight. Cavillo, play action, lofts the pass, and Torrey Wright was hit hard by Anthony Drawhorn, who read the play perfectly, but Wright hangs on and has a first down.
Inside play fake, and then Torrey Wright just slides out of the backfield, and this is when he's got to come back into the huddle and say, hey, listen, Andy, don't hang me up like that. All of a sudden, because I know that defensive back is right behind me. And when Drawhorn gets there, he makes his presence known.
Torrey Wright, quite a family story. There's Drawhorn out of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. He isn't bothered by this heat. And now, nice play by Kalen Hall as he jukes his way across midfield and has a gain of close to 9 yards before Gary Rogers brings him down. Just back to Kalen Hall's running mate for a moment. Terry Wright, his brother, plays for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Another brother, Toby Wright, a member of the Los Angeles Rams. I think they've got the pro football scene covered. 9 yards for Hall, 2nd and 1. Man rolling out Cavillo. Under pressure, throws a completion to Al Whiting. And Whiting taken out of bounds, and they're saying no catch. Well, you see that the Field, a couple of yards narrower, came into play there.
Cavillo does a great job of a play fake inside. It wasn't. Then he comes outside and good quick arm. Take a look at it. The left foot does come outside the bounds, so I think it was a good call. Had that field been the proper width, then it's a catch.
Now it's third down and a yard. And they give to Hall, who explodes over the line of scrimmage and ends up down at the Saskatchewan 50. He'll move the yardsticks.
Kalen Hall at 5'8", 203 is just a solid little fire plug when he gets that ball. And when he runs behind Harris, the center, at 285, Allen at 320. Take a good look. This is the play that we called earlier. You see the left foot right at the last minute. The toe hits outside. The heel comes in and hits the white line. I'd say the refs were right on it and gave it a good call.
Las Vegas on the move again. At the Saskatchewan 50, Cavillo airs it out. Flag down on the near side of the play as Cavillo overthrew the intended receiver, Carl Harry. Harry has words with the official on that side. There is a flag on the near side.
Pass intended to Carl Harry. Incomplete.
Second down and 10.
'24 Saskatchewan, illegal contact on a receiver, down.
Vincent Donaldson called, and that will move the yardsticks. So each time Saskatchewan has seemed to stop Las Vegas, a play moves the football, or a penalty moves the football against Ray Yock's team. They came back last week from 21-0 down. They don't want to let this gunslinger get too far ahead of them. Cavillo is razor sharp here in the first half. Cavillo under pressure, and Bobby Jurison has him wrapped up. Bobby Jurison with sack number 102 of a great Rough Rider career.
Very inspirational part of this Saskatchewan defense. And as I was talking to Jurison today, he said he really gives a lot of credit to his ex-coach, which is James Quick Parker, who played this position and coached Bobby Jurison last year and gave him just a tremendous amount. He said, now I am finally understanding what Quick was trying to coach me and teach me.
2nd and 10 for Cavillo and the Posse. Check that, 2nd and 16 after the sack, and a penalty down. And that one may have been picked off. No catch. Whiting came up with a football, but out of bounds again. Let's get word on another flag.
Flag down. I think we're going to have holding against Claude Jones. The big tackle really happened to grab Gary Lewis right by the jersey and take him down.
Las Vegas number 6, holding, decline.
We'll make it 3rd down. And there might have been a decision here. Let's take a look at the penalty. But with Carlos Huerta's strong leg, they may still be in field goal position.
You can see it just to the left of your screen, just the inside fake. Gary Lewis was having nothing to do with that. And as he got upfield to get after Cavillo, all of a sudden, Jones decided that he was just going to tackle him and protect his quarterback.
Well, against the wind, Las Vegas will not try a long field goal. Instead, it's Keene. And the leading punter after week 1 puts this into the end zone. Drawhorn wisely concedes the single point and adds to the Posse lead. It's now 15-6 Vegas.
Welcome back to Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas. You're looking at Ray Elgart, the slot back, the supreme slot back for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. He already has one CFL record to his credit, and he's looking at another one. They call him the human slot machine. He came into this game 6 catches short from Rocky DiPriecho's record of 706 catches. He's had 1 tonight, 5 more, and he has a new record.
Well, first thing that's going through my mind is that, if I get that record, it's not going to mean that I'm the most outstanding receiver ever played this game. It's going to mean that I caught more passes than anybody that ever played in this league. I'm excited about breaking that record. and you know, it'll be a nice deal for me.
Ray Elgard nursing a cold, and as you can see, still wearing those glass cutter gloves even in this torrid heat of Las Vegas. 95 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Chris?
Oh, what a model of consistency he's been over the years. 89 catches last year, 91 the year before, a couple of years before that, 94. Actually, his best seasons have come in 3 of the last 4. He's not getting older, he's getting better. First punt of the game for Keene, and now at the 35, Tom Burgess and Saskatchewan's offense goes to work. Out of the pocket, Burgess across the 40, and bravely up to the 48-49 before Battle brings him down.
Good coverage downfield, and it's certainly not something that Tommy Burgess is noted for, is those quick feet coming right up the middle of the thing. Trying to find something downfield quickly. Mike Saunders slides out, but he can't see him. By that time, Burgess has already tucked the ball down, and he does an excellent job of getting away from the tackle of Greg Battle.
Got a block from Dan Payne on Jeff Sawyer. Helps bring him. It's 2nd and 1. Those 4 go in motion, but Burgess keeps. And at the 45, should move the yardsticks. Well, for all his years in the Canadian Football League, this is 9th. He still really hasn't got full recognition as one of the great quarterbacks in the league, although he is amongst the top 10 all time. He's won a Grey Cup. In fact, won a couple of Grey Cups. One in Saskatchewan, one in Winnipeg, and a guy that is admired by his teammates if he doesn't get all those headlines.
It is very unfortunate because he is in the same category in that fraternity with Damon Allens and Doug Flutie's and Matt Dunnigans, and those guys are putting up incredible numbers. Tom Burgess just hasn't quite got the credit he deserves.
Here's Burgess looking near side and has a completion to Donald Narcisse, and Narcisse keeps his streak alive. The 110th consecutive game in which he has caught a pass, and he used to catch him a number of years ago from Tom Burgess. They're hooking up again in 94.
Good job.
Then a renewal of an old marriage that they broke up, and then it comes back together. But Tom Burgess showing great composure, good quick footwork, and then looks downfield, and you show right there, you can see he's got a tremendously strong arm to throw the ball a little bit off balance, going to his right side for a big completion.
Talk about unheralded. How about Narcisse? 5 straight 1,000-yard seasons. He's been one of the best ever in the CFL, and he makes the catch over the middle and is hit immediately. Calvin Nicholson with the tackle. Roy Hart around the football again. And they'll mark Narcisse down at the 45 of Las Vegas. So it's just a gain of 3.5, and he paid a price for it.
Narcisse doing an excellent job of coming in and replacing the blitzing linebackers. There's some vacant area there. He's just trying to find the pasture that he can come into. David Hollis comes up and shuts it down very quickly after a short gain.
Looked like he got a pretty good spot at the 45. 5 minutes, 23 seconds to go, second quarter, 15-6. Las Vegas leads Saskatchewan. Burgess looking for Elgard, and it's almost picked off. Maurice Kelly, the cornerback, got his hand on the football in front of Elgard.
Pass intended for Elgard, incomplete.
Maurice Kelly playing really heads-up ball on the corner because Narcisse had run the out pattern. But as Maurice Kelly was able to take a peek into the backfield, took a look at Burgess, looked at his throwing pattern as the arm and the ball was released, then he made a break on the ball and was able to pick it up and knock down that post corner route that Elgard was running.
3rd and 7, so Ridgway is on to attempt a 52-yarder. Again, missed from 47 and 50 last week, but this is well in his range, especially with the wind at his back. Ridgway just puts it through. Boy, he needed a breeze there. But Dave Ridgway narrows the gap. It's 15-9 to Las Vegas. Dave Ridgway, 3 for 3. Saskatchewan, 3 field goals in 3 possessions, and this one goes in just off the upright.
Sometimes you got to be good to be lucky and lucky to be good, particularly in this city, and Ridgway was both of them right then.
Yeah, you better get to the tables tonight. 6 for 8 now on the year, back up to that familiar 75% average of his or higher. Last year, Ridgway was 90%. Here's number 80, Vanover, running backwards. They're trying to turn the corner and nailed by Dave Van Bellenham. 55-yard kickoff, no yards on the return. Well, we show you this tonight because Carlos Huerta of Las Vegas boomed one 59 yards here in the preseason, had a 55-yarder in game 1, and Ridgway or Huerta could set a new mark tonight with the breeze at their back. 60. Ridgway did it against Winnipeg 7 years ago. Well, what do you think of Anthony Cavillo so far?
I'm very, very impressed with him. Tremendous amount of composure.
That time Gary Lewis jumped the gun. Cavillo, though, fires a completion in the far flat. Now Whiting with the catch. Saskatchewan looked like they jumped offside. Were they drawn?
Bobby Durson thinks he was drawn offside. And then in the background, you get Gary Lewis and Claude Jones having a little discussion about it.
Yes, things are heating up.
It's hot enough as it is, but it's going to get a little hotter out here before this game's over with.
One of the Vegas officials said, we're going to be the team that the rest of the league loves to hate. It is offside, Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan offside, decline, first down.
They'll take the Al Whiting catch, especially because he's from East Carolina.
Gary Lewis is getting a running start there for no reason. That offensive line of Las Vegas was set in motion. I mean, just set still. So Gary was trying to convince somebody that he was pulled offside to no avail.
Your school's only producing receivers. What happened to the old linebackers?
They finally found some guys that could catch the ball.
Here's Cavillo. Mayfield open. Can't reel it in. The speedy Mayfield, who has a touchdown already, got in behind the Riders secondary.
Plenty of time again to throw the ball as Cavillo can look downfield, and just a bad mistake it looks like in the secondary of Saskatchewan. Vincent Donaldson just really bites up on absolutely nothing and allows Curtis Mayfield to get behind there, and then you can see the absolute disappointment on Coach Meyer's face.
2nd and 10, Las Vegas. At their own 31, here comes the rush, and they're got to Cavillo. And again, it's Bobby Jurison, 2nd sack for the veteran. And Gary Lewis is having words again with the offensive line of Las Vegas, but the Green Riders come up big.
Lots of trash talk going on. Good coverage in the secondary. This is a coverage sack. Everybody was covered. They jammed them up, came up and played man-to-man coverage, got up in their face, did not allow the Posse receivers to get up off and get out into their...
That's big Andre Allen working against Lewis. Allen 6 feet, 320. And Keene, who has been putting the ball so well, has that go off the side of his foot. And now he'll chase after it. Saskatchewan on the ball. Well, let's find out. Vegas thinks their punter may have come up with it. They'll unpile, and we'll tell you who has the football when we come back.
How about you?
Number 3 on the press line.
We're back at Sam Boyd Stadium, where Saskatchewan has the football. Flags were flying. Saskatchewan did come up with the ball on that punt, and even though Robbie Keene, the punter, is allowed to encroach on that 5 yards, there were other Posse players there as well, so they rule a 5-yard penalty on the bounce back, and Saskatchewan first down at the Las Vegas 36. 2 minutes, 51 seconds to go here in the first half, and a 15-9 Posse lead. Good pace to this football game so far, and Saskatchewan with a chance to get closer and even take the lead with their best field position to start a drive so far tonight.
Talking to Coach Meyer yesterday, we asked him what was the big adaptations that you had to make to get to this game. He said I was just getting ready to get into the game. I'm getting everything going on. And the next thing you know, Coach Reinbold is calling, get ready, punt team, get ready. And I'm still thinking of what my first play is going to be. And he's getting the punt teams ready. His quote was, he said, this is like fast break basketball on a grass field.
He said they considered using Jerry Tarkanian as their offensive coordinator. Of course, Las Vegas fans used to a speed game in basketball and the Running Rebels, and these guys are playing with the attitude of Running Rebels here at Sam Boyd Stadium. The Posse, that great speed team, you can see that that's the emphasis they put in training camp, which started, by the way, in mid-May. They got a 3-week head start on everybody else to sift through over 140 players who wanted to play for this team. Here's Burgess, almost picked off by Calvin Nicholson. And it'll be 2nd and 10 when we come back to Las Vegas.
Welcome back to Sam Boyd Stadium, where the temperature has really begun to cool off since the sun went down here on the desert. You see our CBC thermometer shows it's 35.5 degrees Celsius. That's about 95 Fahrenheit, meaning the temperature has fallen 6 degrees Celsius since kickoff. It's still hot, but it's getting better. Chris?
Yeah, but again, it's a dry heat.
It's a dry heat. You better slide me that Skidoo suit on. He gets in good heat this time by Jeff Sawyer coming on the outside. Gets up in Tom Burgess' face and forces him to throw the ball off balance. And number 4 is Calvin Nicholson, who's been all over this field in Elgard's face. Almost comes up with the interception.
I got one question. If it's a dry heat, why are you and I soaked?
I don't know. There's not anything dry on either one of us, I don't think.
2:27 to go, first half. 2nd and 10. Tom Burgess and the Roughriders. 3 field goals for the offense of the Green Riders so far. Larry Thompson on that hitch screen cuts it up over the 30 down to the 27-yard line. Had to get to the 26. He's a yard, maybe too short, and Ray Yock has a decision to make.
The whole key to this on that quick hitch screen is that number 51, that's Chris Burns, has got to get out and make the tackle. Larry Thompson does an excellent job of coming back toward Burgess behind the line of scrimmage and then turns the ball upfield once he gets behind that block.
Roy Hart with the tackle, the veteran CFLer, having another good game for Las Vegas. Yock in no mood to gamble yet in Las Vegas. Staying close to the vest, and he'll send Ridgway out to attempt a 35-yarder. Suter puts it down for Ridgway, who puts it through again. 4 for 4 for Robo Kicker, and Saskatchewan draws within 3 points.
Las Vegas 15, Saskatchewan 12. 2 minutes, 18 seconds left.
The swirling wind shouldn't have any effect on a guy like Ridgway, who's used to kicking out of Regina. So this is just like being at home.
He was saying, though, earlier that he wouldn't want to be a kick returner here because the wind a little more unpredictable than that on the prairie. Doesn't look too bad there, but it does swirl in this bowl. And we'll join Mark Lee.
Well, Chris, a busy day tomorrow for CBC Sports. It all begins in the morning at 9:30 a.m. with the British Open from Turnberry, Scotland. And Saxon and Zeller are tied for the lead right now at -9. And immediately following that, we'll take you to Toronto for the Molson Indy at 1:30 Eastern. Robbie Gordon has the pole position. High octane excitement. Of course, Canada's Paul Tracy in 5th place going into this race. Chris?
What a terrific weekend on CBC Sports, the doubleheader. Toronto Blue Jays, Molson Indy, and the British Open. Hope you're enjoying tonight's action and action through the weekend. Also the Calgary Stampede. And here is Mike Clark. Clark met by Ray Bernard and a green wave at the 30-yard line. 13-yard return for Clark, 58-yard kickoff, and here is Cavillo. And the matchup of Cavillo and Burgess just about the same in yardage. Cavillo's got it in the end zone.
2 big plays have resulted in 2 big touchdowns. Here's where the big problem is going to come. Not a problem, but the difference will come. A very impatient type quarterback, a big play quarterback with 2:12 left to go, Now all of a sudden, instead of running time off the clock, he's going to go for the ball, probably turn the ball back over into Saskatchewan's hands, give Saskatchewan another chance of scoring some points.
Well, that's the job, to maintain possession. He'll try and do it on the ground, and Kalen Hall chews up some yards across the 40, and he's close to a first down. Looks like he's just shy, and depending on the spot, it will likely require a measurement, and they will bring the sticks in.
Good inside handoff, just a search route. As far as they give it to him deep, Kalen Hall, and then allow him just to search out the open spot, let the offensive players get their blocks, body on people, push them somewhere, and then leave it up to Hall to find the crack and make the first down. And he came very close to it.
Excuse me, Kep, last year Sacramento was accused of bringing in a few local prospects just to help the crowd. Kalen Hall is a local player out of Las Vegas High School, but clearly this guy has won the job on merit. A terrific young running back who's had another strong half of football. First down, and they run it up the middle again. This time it's Torrey Wright. One thing Ron Meyer did say is he'd like to see a little more size in that backfield.
So you got Wright at 5'10", 192. Kalen Hall is 5'8", 203, but as I say, his height-wise is not that big a problem. He comes in there, he carries a lot of power in that 203 frame.
It's really a twin running back system, one that Saskatchewan's hoping to use if they can get everybody healthy. Here's Cavillo on second down, and he flips it over to Wright, and at midfield, Torrey Wright does a first down before he's met by Gary Rogers.
Well, I'll come up and give the public apology right now to Cavillo. He's showing great poise, great execution right now as far as his play selection and running the time off the clock and making first downs. He is keeping possession drives going alive.
This guy's 21, and we don't see very often a young quarterback, at least a 21-year-old, come in and adapt to the game so quickly. You saw him check his wristband. That's where he has the plays written down. Let's see what he calls on 1st and 10 from midfield. On a roll, wide open to the flat, and Whiting, does he make the catch? They're saying no catch, and Whiting's had a couple of tough calls on the near sideline.
Second down and 10.
Cavillo comes out. Good, strong arm. The ball's up in the air. Let's take a good look at it. Whiting's out, and the left foot really comes down. Absolutely no question about that call. But had you had the other yard, it's going to make the ref really earn his pay tonight.
2nd and 10 for Las Vegas. 1:01 left first half. It's a 3-point Posse lead. Pressure on. Cavillo just got it away, and Hall can't hang on. Bobby Jurison was turning the heat up on Cavillo. Been a good half for number 71, your old buddy Bobby Jurison.
Bobby is playing really strong tonight. He was pumped up. He's here at 3:30 this afternoon, walking around the field. He was really jacked up for this game, and he knew that he was going to go out and play hard. It was going to be tough, but he was going to let his mind over matter.
Well, Saskatchewan will have a little less than a minute to work with here as Keene punts away to Saunders. And Saunders up across the 20. 48 seconds left in the first half. Here's Mark.
Well, if you like the Posse, you're going to like what we have to offer you tomorrow. After the golf and the auto racing, we go to the Wild West, the Calgary Stampede, live at 4 o'clock Eastern. Ernie Afghanis, Ron McLean to bring you live coverage. And then later in the evening at 8 local time, our Calgary Stampede prime time special. It's a big, busy day for CBC Sports tomorrow. And of course, it's a busy schedule for us coming up on Live at the Half here. We'll go to Baltimore, where Scott Oak will report on the Stampeders' victory over the CFLers in their home opener. We'll have highlights from Shreveport and talk to the president of the Posse, Nick Millett.
Well, let's see what Tom Burgess does with his time management. The handoff to Saunders, and he springs free before Greg Tucker brings Saunders down, pick up 14 yards, and Mike Saunders has had a strong first half rushing the football.
Mike Saunders definitely just a strong player all around for this Saskatchewan offense. Good rusher, catches the ball extremely well, works hard on special teams, does it all.
Here's a quick pass to Elgard, and there's his second reception of the game, and he drives his way out of bounds, but lost the football. Looks like, let's wait till they unpile, but Narcisse, it looks like, came up with the ball. And we have an injured Posse player. It's Calvin Nicholson, who has been watching Elgard tonight, coming out of the game favoring his left arm, shoulder. Second down and about a foot. Burgess will use it as a passing down. Airing it out, Larry Thompson, and just getting across the quarterback, Al Jordan. Oh, Burgess thought he had Thompson there, streaking.
Thompson, just a pure streak right down the sideline. Burgess plenty of time to throw the ball, but there was no receiver outside to really occupy the thoughts of Jordan, and that allowed him to fall off, come back on the inside, and just make a big play, knock the ball away right at the last minute, or else Thompson was still running to the end zone.
So it's third down, less than a yard. 22 seconds left on the clock. So they'll have to get the first down, and then likely, well, I'm not sure if they got the first down. For starters, Burgess didn't get the big initial push off. And there's Roy Hart, 75, bottom of the pile again. And he's trying to help spot the ball. I don't think Roy likes the spot. But it is a first down. And while they set up and before the clock starts, Burgess calling the play at the line. Clock running. So is Burgess. And it goes through Narcisse. Incomplete. And Narcisse bumped by Sawyer after the play. Sawyer has to be careful. He took a roughing the passer penalty in the final minute against Sacramento. Almost helped the Gold Miners pull that game out.
Well, if you take a look at that, as Narcisse was laying down there, Sawyers came by and just put the knee up in his helmet just to let him know he was there. Uncalled for.
46-yard line of Saskatchewan. They've got 13 seconds left. 2nd and 10. Burgess now thinking about 15 yards to get in Ridgeway range. Looking for more than 15, and he bounces that one. Elgard hadn't turned around to look for the ball. 8 seconds left. And third down Saskatchewan. Brent Matich will come on for the first time in the half.
Not very much pressure in Burgess' face that time, and it's just a very poorly thrown ball. Ray Elgard had gone a bit of an out and up, and he was going deep, and that ball was thrown a good 10 yards behind him.
Al Whiting has dropped back this time. The left footer, Matich, flag down, and we've got a little bit of a scuffle as Whiting from his 11, and Dave Van Bellingham again, fine job on kick coverage, and a couple of flags to sort out here with no time left on the clock.
Whiting on the return. We have a flag on the play.
It's going to have holding against Las Vegas Posse or unnecessary roughness, one of the two.
Roy Hart and Ray Bernard were grappling.
Discussing.
It was a physical discussion.
Well, it's one of those debate things, like who's ever left standing wins the argument. That doesn't mean whether you're wrong or right, but if I'm standing up over you when it's all over with, I win.
Let's see how the ref scored it. Holding against Las Vegas was declined, and that's the final play of the first half. Let's join Mark Lee.
All right, Chris, so the Posse lead by a field goal of the half. When we come back on Live at the Half, we'll go live to Scott Oak in Baltimore for an update on that Memorial Stadium opener.
Welcome to Live at the Half from Baltimore, Maryland, everybody. Things have calmed down considerably here at Memorial Stadium. A crowd of 40,000 on hand for the return of professional football to Baltimore tonight. And the Calgary Stampeders spoiled the party. They had their way with the Baltimore CFLers. Actually, it was a close game for much of the first half until Pee Wee Smith broke it open for Calgary. It's the nature of the CFL that a punt return for a touchdown can take the wind out of the sails of the opposition. And this 57-yard return by Smith had that same effect. 15-6 the score at the time. Doug Flutie took control of this game late in the first half. This was vintage Flutie in the second quarter on a 15-yard run. A great block by Alan Pitts at the 3 to open up the lane, and Flutie gave Calgary a 22-13 halftime lead. When Tracy Ham was injured in the second half, there went Baltimore's hopes, and Alan Pitts cemented Calgary's win with this short touchdown reception. 42-16 the final. Stampeders with their first victory of the season, and it looked like no one enjoyed it more than Alan Pitts. 7 for 97 yards on the night. Alan, are you completely and totally recovered from the torn-up knee that kept you out of 11 games last season?
Well, I'm very close at this time. I'm still, not quite where I want to be, but, I just want to say that as each game goes on each week, my confidence grows, and that's what it's all about, because the mental part is probably the main thing you have to deal with.
What did you think of the CFL debuting in Baltimore tonight, and how important was this win to Calgary?
Well, it was very important for us, based on how we lost last week. I think we were kind of embarrassed by that, not playing a full game of 60 minutes of football, and we let it get away from us. So tonight, we wanted to play a full game and execute the entire game.
Alan, thanks for your time. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much, Scott.
So once again, the final here at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore tonight. Calgary 42, Baltimore 16. Both teams 1-1 now. And now let's go back to Las Vegas and hear from Mark Lee.
Back here in Las Vegas, where it's dipped to a crisp 95 degrees Fahrenheit. It's the Posse leading the Roughriders by a score of 15-12 at the half. In Shreveport tonight, our other CFL out-of-town game. Here's the update. The scene here, Reggie Barnes, the former Ottawa Rough Rider, taking this ball 59 yards for the Pirates. No one within a stone's throw of him. He makes it 13-7 for Shreveport early in the first quarter. Then Terrence Jones, another former Ottawa Rough Rider, passing to Walker here. This one goes 61 yards, unmolested to make the score 20-7 Shreveport. The Argos, though, fight back, blocking this forward punt, recovering it, setting up a score now 20-10. Gil Fennerty, a former Toronto Argonaut back in the CFL, goes 1 yard off tackle to make the score 27-17. The final, though, Toronto coming back to win it 35-34. Mike Kerrigan hitting a former Saskatchewan Rough Rider, Nick. Jeff Fairholm with a touchdown pass to win it there. And, of course, your team looking good out here, Nick, leading by a field goal. You got a decent crowd. I know you're hoping for about 12,000. They say that's what it looks like. Before the game, you deputized most of these people. What does that mean? Does that make you the sheriff?
Well, I've been called worse, Mark. I'll guarantee you that.
What do you make of your opening night here in Las Vegas? The crowd, the conditions, and the play of your football team?
Well, so far I'm very proud of all three. There's a saying in Rome that Rome wasn't built in a day. We're in it for the long run. There's no paper in the joint. Everybody's paid full bore. They're getting more than value for their money. I mean, our pregame show was probably the best the league has ever seen. And there's a saying in Rome, you tell the truth, it's not bragging, and it's true. And it's a process. We had 6 last time. This time we have 12. Next time we have 18, whatever it is. I've always known we'd sell out. The question is when. I thought maybe it'd be a little sooner than later, but that's a detail.
Let me ask you about Charlie Ward. The big story this week is that your team has given up trying to sign him.
I went to New York last Sunday to see what my director of player personnel told me, which is exactly was right, which is that we have a certain chemistry and we better not mess it up. And we've got a great young quarterback and 2, I don't know how good they are, but we think they're pretty good backups, and we better not mess it up. And unless this situation is perfect, at 3-zip, it made no sense to pursue it.
All right, Nick. Well, you could use a dome stadium in these parts. As far as I'm concerned, 95 right now, and that's cool. The coolest temperature we've seen today. Thanks for your time.
Thanks. I consider this a major break in the weather. Thanks, Mark.
Nick Milletti's Posse lead the Saskatchewan Roughriders by a field goal. It's 15-12. Live at the half. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas, where it's still 95 degrees at 9:30 in the evening. Let's go to the broadcast booth now to two commentators in a full sweat for their thoughts on the first half of this football game. Chris and Dan.
Thanks, Mark Lee. We're just talking about when the last time was a quarterback at 21 years of age came in, wasn't working with a veteran quarterback, and adapted seemingly so quickly to the game as Anthony Cavillo has.
Well, Chris, I think the biggest thing right now is that unfortunately for him, he got thrown into the fire immediately. In a lot of cases when younger quarterbacks have come through the league, they've had to wait for those veterans ahead of them for a number of years to either retire, be traded, or at some point leave the game. And then they had their chance to play. In this case, it was right now, you've got to get the job done for us, you're our man. And he has really risen to the challenge.
Well, let's take a look at some of the highlights in the first half. The only way they seemed to be able to slow Cavillo down was with Bobby Jurison turning the heat up.
You can see a lot of times Jurison has been all around Cavillo most of the evening, forcing him to throw, and then Bobby's come up with 2 sacks already.
Nevertheless, Cavillo, first 2 drives of the game, recording touchdowns. This one to Curtis Mayfield.
Good quick feet allowed him to get outside of the blitz that gets, and then he throws the ball right on the money in between 2 Saskatchewan defenders.
Did you call that a super fly pattern to Mayfield? Here's the one to Kalen Hall.
Plenty of time to throw again. Look, he's right down the field, and then this is just a safety valve pass. Kalen Hall comes out of the backfield, a blown coverage by Rogers, the linebacker, and then Hall does an excellent job of cutting back across the grain, gets away from Suter, gets it into the end zone for 6 points.
And it's a 15-12 lead at the half as we rejoin Mark Lee.
And the CFL on CBC, Chris, is in Calgary next week, where the Stampeders, fresh off their 42-16 win over Baltimore tonight, play the Blue Bombers. And Matt Dunnigan, who set a record of 713 yards passing this week in the CFL. And Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern, our live coverage begins. The Export A Incorporated Skins Golf out of Montreal. Here in Las Vegas, it's 15-12. The Posse in front of the Saskatchewan Roughriders as you see the Showgirls make their way to the sidelines. We'll be back with the second half of football right after this.
The bright lights of the Las Vegas Strip, about 5 miles from Sam Boyd Stadium. And let me assure you, folks, Danny Kepley's kind of town. And a fast first half. Pretty good offensive display by both these teams.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. A good turnout on both sides. Very good showing. But then again, 2 big touchdown passes by the Las Vegas team. Excellent defense on both cases, what I thought. Very physical game, Chris.
Well, Anthony Cavillo, we've talked about him, 21 years of age. Starred here in the Las Vegas Bowl last year out of Utah. And as we mentioned earlier, working under Jim Zorn, the former Seattle Seahawks quarterback. And he has made a very easy adjustment to the pro game so far.
I had a wonderful opportunity as a rookie with the Dallas Cowboys in 1975 to meet and know Jim Zorn. Jim also was a rookie in the Dallas Cowboys then. They got to know him on a friendly basis, and I tell you what, he is just an incredible, classy individual, and you can see that some of that has rubbed off on this young quarterback.
You could be describing Tom Burgess because quiet, cool, class, very popular among his teammates, and he looks very sharp tonight. Didn't get off to the slow start he had last week against Calgary.
He brought a whole different attitude to this Saskatchewan offense, and I think everybody seems to be rattling around him, and they have tremendous confidence in what he can do and his ability, and everybody wants to work a little harder to try to get up to that level also.
I'm telling you, Nick Maletti isn't selling you a bill of goods. I think Las Vegas is going to take to this team. It's slow, but most of the people you talk to, there are Saskatchewan fans here, and I'll tell you what, they're already planning huge convoys of Winnipeg fans coming in October, 7 or 8 plane loads. They're going to come in from Calgary in the middle of October, and it's going to be a terrific spot for an away game for teams and their fans this year to come down to Las Vegas. But whenever we talk to people in Vegas in the last couple of days, they have nothing against the team, love the game, like what they've seen so far. They think it's a little hot yet. Maybe they'll show up in September, but We had a lot of late arrivals here tonight. I think once the sun went down, they thought, hey, maybe it is a nice night for a football game.
The cars were streaming into the parking lot, and this is a much, much bigger turnout than they had for their exhibition game when I was down here with the Eskimos. So let's see how they play in the second half.
Ridgway kicking it off. Saskatchewan deferring again. They'll take the wind in the fourth quarter, and Ridgway will have to do it again. We've talked about the heat. Not a factor in the first half. Could it be in the fourth quarter?
If it's going to show at all, Chris, it definitely is going to come into play in the latter part of the fourth quarter. But I think for a lot of reasons, Coach Yark has said, he has been preparing for this game. He has worked extremely hard, and he felt that the conditioning that they had really paid off in the fourth quarter against Calgary. So hopefully they can grasp some of that and be able to take it to the fourth quarter here. The Vegas team should be used to it, but they are human beings also. It doesn't matter. As Coach Yark said, he said, we can prepare, but there is no way we could have prepared for this. And that basically sums it up.
Now David Ridgway to do it over again. Likely to become the all-time field goal kicker in CFL history when it's all said and done. Sending it downfield again. This will be taken by the up man, Robinson. And he's down at the 48-yard line. Check that, Cedric Crawford with the return. And good position here for Anthony Cavillo to start the second half. Let's check his pass distribution from the first half, and he likes to spread it around.
I think it's a real good key, again, as this young quarterback, not getting locked in or homed in to one just receiver. That really can set off a defense that they can play up to that. This way, he's moving it all over the field, and you're not really sure who you can cover. And he's throwing in enough runs in there, and they're getting some serious breaks on the rush.
Kalen Hall has been the most effective out of the backfield, and that's Hall with the ball on the ground. Fumble after the whistle. And although Glover has the football, Las Vegas will maintain possession. Up to the 53, gain of 5 for Hall. And an injured Saskatchewan Roughrider, that's Ray Bernard, the middle linebacker out of Bishop's University. Slow to get up.
One of the leading tacklers on the team. You really hate to see him get injured. Hall makes a real good cut coming back against Bernard. And then all he does is seem to get out his left arm out and just catches the top of that thigh. And that powerful legs of Hall may have given him some shoulder problems there.
Ray Bernard led the Canadian Football League in tackles last year. And he had a sack last week. Remember, Don Matthews.
Take a good look right there. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you can see right at the last minute as they got the glove off of his hand, you can see that he's got a dislocated finger, and what they're going to try to do right now is just pull it just hard enough that they can pull it back into place, and then what they'll do, I promise you, they'll just tape it up, and Bernard will be back in here playing.
Let me guarantee it. You're hearing it from a man who knows. How many times did that happen to you? Probably more than you remember.
A number of times. All of my fingers have been broken at least twice, and 3 have been operated on, but there was one little quick story here. I had a compound fracture over in Winnipeg one time where the top of one finger was just dangling down and hanging out. And I went over and I pulled the bones back and put it back together and taped it up. And at this point, Dave Cutler had went over to the side, and Dave Fennell was missing part of the game because he had the flu. And Dave just slapped Fennell upside the head and said, "You get out here and play. This is where it's all about."
Well, the hands may not be pretty, but when you put those 5 rings on the fingers, they don't look bad.
No, they don't. And when it's all said and done, that is what it's all about. And it's just a great thrill to have had an opportunity to be surrounded by such great athletes and to be able to play this game and stay a kid for a lot longer than probably I should have.
You didn't get mad? I shortchanged you by a ring, too, didn't I?
You did, but I was just figured you felt 77 that you keep thinking that Chikung was in Montreal.
Well, that play did not develop. And flags down. We'll get it sorted out. Opening minute, second half, and a 3-point Vegas lead as Bernard has been attended to, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him back
And it would be fairly interesting because they're not carrying an extra linebacker on their roster, so they may have to make some move with Jurison.
We have procedure Las Vegas, offside Saskatchewan. We'll rerun the play.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder that your
Now there's Peter Miller, who does come in for Bernard in his second year, native of Montreal. Cavillo hit as he delivered the football, and it falls incomplete, but when we talked about it at halftime, they are starting to get a little more heat on the quarterback.
Rich Glover just made an excellent pass rush upfield, just a speed rush to the outside, gets his hands right at the last minute on Cavillo, forces him to throw the ball off target.
Now when Saskatchewan broke camp, I think the biggest question mark was whether or not they could get an adequate pass rush. Gerald Bayless gone to Baltimore. Stuart Hill had retired. So far tonight they've done a good job, and Keene shows you why he had such a great night of punting against Sacramento. But Anthony Drawhorn dances around, gets it out to the 7-yard line before he's taken down. Saskatchewan will start deep after the 57-yard punt.
7-yard return.
You're looking live at Ray Yock, the head coach of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, back to head coaching after an absence here in the CFL, and his career is a storied one. You see he ranks 3rd all-time in career wins behind such notable coaches as Frank Clare, Eagle Keys, and just ahead of the great Bud Grant, who coached in Winnipeg and later in the NFL, Minnesota. But he heads a coaching staff that has only 7 years combined experience compared with 17 on the Posse bench. Chris?
Well, Mark, Saskatchewan, as they did in the first half with their first possession, starts deep in their own zone. Brad Lacombe with the tackle on that carry by Mike Saunders, who gets it to the 10-yard line and a pickup of 3 to 4 yards.
Burgess, when he's attempted to rush the ball, has had great success as far as just a quick opening. Give the ball to Saunders quickly, let him hit a big hole, not taking the ball wide, not trying to do any counter stuff or any tosses, because this speed of the Posses is incredible, and their pursuit to the ball is something to be admired.
2nd down and 6 for Saskatchewan. And Saunders spins away, and the second effort getting him close to first down yardage. Finally, the safety David Hollis came up, but Saunders does the job and should move the sticks. And that was the formula that worked early in the first half. Go to Saunders when they were caught deep in their own zone.
Quick trap right up the middle very quickly with Scott Hendrickson being the trap man, and then all of a sudden Saunders has to do it on his own. 2nd, 3rd efforts, 4th efforts, carrying a loaded Posse group on his back.
Bruce Boyko making sure the momentum stayed forward, and Saunders with a couple of carries to get them out to near the 17-yard line. Burgess straight back over the middle. Narcisse wide open. Flags are down. So is Narcisse at the 33. Couple of flags in the near flat.
Probably going to have offsides, Chris, and I'm sorry to interrupt, offsides, and then it looked like a pass interference call on Ray Elgard.
You're right, both calls going against Saskatchewan.
Offensive pass interference. Saskatchewan number 81. Down repeat.
Now, you don't imagine Ray Elgard would get tangled up with one of the DBs like this, would you?
Well, you take a look. All it is a pick play. Ray's going to come out from his slot back. He's going to come out, and he's trying to hit. That's Maurice Kelly that he's going to pick on, and just allow Narcisse to come on the slide underneath.
That's why
he gets called.
Narcisse was so wide open. Down over, and the quick hitter to Saunders, and oh, he's belted by Hollis. And the ball falls incomplete.
Burgess' pass intended for Saunders, incomplete.
And Saunders is going to take his time getting up.
Hollis is quite the story for this Las Vegas Posse team. Played for 3 years, as you had mentioned earlier, for the Seattle Seahawks. Also, he was on the Dean's list at the UNLV. Very smart, intelligent ball player. He's on the debate team they talked about. As I said, that debating that he does is that whoever was left standing at the end of those debates usually won.
Yeah, he won the argument with Saunders that time.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for yet another giveaway.
A couple of deep backs from UNLV in the game. Draw horn of the Saskatchewan Roughriders as Saunders gets attention. Saunders busier in this game, and that is the intention this year. Get him the football more. He won't run back as many kicks.
We take a look. This pass is thrown just a little late. And that's right. Burgess had Saunders open 4 or 5 yards sooner. He needed to get it to him. That way he can make the reception, turn and do something with it. In this case, it was thrown late. It was thrown behind him. And it hung him out there on the clothesline to drive because he was up there and he was vulnerable. And Hollis took full course in making sure that his presence was known.
Saunders will be back 6th in all-purpose yards last year. And remember, he missed the last 5 with a sprained ankle. Played in that Western Semi against Edmonton, but wasn't 100%. But one of the best backs in the Canadian Football League. So Sean Daniels will join Boyko in the backfield with Saunders out and 2nd and 19 all the way back at the Saskatchewan 8. Burgess in the end zone, fires near side flat. Intended for Narcisse, it's incomplete. So a punting situation from deep in Saskatchewan territory.
Sprint out, stop, kind of a throwback, a post corner route. Big pressure up front. That's Jeff Sawyer again in the backfield. He's had a tremendous game so far. And the ball is thrown out, and you can see just how tight those sidelines are out there when those players are running there.
Matic just his second punt, and he's about 7 yards deep. Rushes on, and Matic just got it away, but off the side of his foot. Here is Whiting to the 35, and Whiting stopped at the 32-yard line. Brad Lacombe was the man in on the rush, and a 35-yard punt, 16-yard run back.
Academy Award right now. Good sellout across. Nobody's going to touch him, but he's going to go down and see if he can draw the flag.
Well, Lacombe came close.
Once they go through that film again and see how close Lacombe did come, there's a block point in front, probably about 2 or 3 yards ahead of that kicker. There's where you're trying to sell for, not right into the leg of the kicker, or you're going to pick up a penalty.
Cavillo fakes the handoff, and he'll throw deep, looking in the end zone, but Vanover was being watched closely by Donaldson. Vanover's really the only receiver in the Las Vegas lineup that has not caught a pass tonight, and he's the marquee guy out of Florida State.
Well, and I think, quite honestly, probably been a little disappointing in the first game that he played, and probably in some of the preseason games. He's got a tremendous amount of ability, a tremendous amount of speed, but what he also is, he is a very, very young fella. If you think Cavillo is young, this guy is 2 years younger.
2nd and 10, Cavillo stands in there and throws, incomplete. Intended for Mayfield, but Anthony Drawhorn had him covered tightly. And so the Saskatchewan defense stands on Las Vegas' first drive, second half, with great field position. And so Carlos Huerta will come in to attempt a 38-yard field goal. He has been quite a story, 9 for 10 in the preseason with a 59-yard field goal. 1 for 2 last week, a 55-yarder, this from 38. And the Miami Star is good there to increase the Posse lead to 6. It's 18-12.
Chris, as you said, this young guy is quite the story. First-team All-American in 1991, an academic All-American also that year, Miami's MVP in 1991.
So Carlos Huerta on the board, and so it's a 6-point lead, but Saskatchewan got backed up. Great field position for Las Vegas, and they didn't really want to call Huerta's number on that. A good stand by the defense. Saskatchewan opting to take the football at the 35. I think some of the Posse players were waiting for the kickoff, slow to get on the field.
You can see some of the newness of this team also. There were some guys waiting for a kickoff to take place before they jumped out there defensively.
Flag down in the flat. Saunders back in the game. Across the 40, spinning and diving towards the 45. Let's see if this will stand.
We're going to probably get another offside against Saskatchewan.
Well, the Roughriders, the most penalized team the last 2 years, and it's starting to mount on them here.
Right at the end of the play, Don Narcisse does a very good job standing out there waiting and waiting.
Number 81, Saskatchewan.
But Elgard, and we've seen that before with that running start of his.
I mean, there are coaches throughout this league that'll probably say that there's a pretty good chance. Being in Vegas, let's bet on it, that Ray Elgard may be offside every time he's going to the line of scrimmage, because he's starting that 15-yard run at the line of scrimmage, and it's purely a timing thing.
I'll mention that to Ray after the game that you made that bet. Here's Saunders again, lugging the football on 1st and 15. Across the 35 up to the 38, behind the blocking of Hendrickson.
Just a quick opening play. Give it to Saunders deep again. Pulling the offside Scott Henderson to try to create an opening there, and he's just following Hendrickson up into the hole.
96 yards from scrimmage for Saunders in the game. Second down, and in the flat, there's Narcisse. And again, that's out of our view, but it looked like Narcisse has a first down reception, and he does.
Good look. He's got Elgard on the inside, but all of a sudden he goes to Narcisse, and for whatever reason, you can see that number 19, that's Robinson, that had just laid off and kind of was following Elgard inside, anticipating that he was going to try to get the ball inside to Big Ray.
Narcisse got it to the 51. Midway through the third quarter, Saskatchewan down by 6. Here comes the blitz, and Burgess just got it away, and a flag goes down. Shanti Peoples was putting the heat on Burgess, and let's see what the call is.
Peoples and Hart on the pass rush.
Tom Burgess has an argument here because Narcisse was in the vicinity.
Yeah, it looks like they will call grounding.
Intentional grounding.
Wow.
Third down.
Take a look, lots of heat. Narcisse is out there in the flats. The ball's thrown without probably about 4 or 5 yards away from him.
And Narcisse is open. That's a tough call against Burgess. I wasn't sure if they thought Peoples maybe hit him after he delivered the football, but a call against Saskatchewan. Back at the 40, and there you can see it's 11 penalties, 72 yards against the Riders. Saunders in the flat. Gets one block from Elgard, gets another block out of bounds up at the 48-yard line, getting back near the original line of scrimmage. But it'll be third down, and Ray Yuck's right in the middle of the action.
Coach Yuck gets pumped up too. You get over the sidelines. Take a look. Hey. That's Garrett Greedy getting over there, just giving a little elbow to Coach Yuck.
Greedy heard he was a pretty good running back. Thought he better take him out. Matic again, heat on, and Matic just got it away. This time gets a flag. As the ball bounces out of bounds, and now the Posse are going to have an argument.
Same guy that was in there close a while ago. That's Brad Lacombe comes in, and I think they're going to get him for roughing the kicker. As I said, good punt blockers are guys that can perfect taking the ball right off of the shoe at the punter. There is a block point that is probably about 3 or 4 yards, depending on the number of steps the kicker's going to take, out in front of that kicker. And you've got to aim for that point, not for the body of the kicker.
Contacting the kicker. Las Vegas.
10-yard penalty. And so Saskatchewan will now be 3rd and 3. Anthony Blue and Lacombe, and it looked like Lacombe got in on the ankles of Matic.
So it was. Blue went up over the top of it, it looked like, and Lacombe was coming underneath it. Both of them made contact with the kicker.
So it's 3rd down and 3. And Matic will punt again, but a little bit of real estate for Saskatchewan, and Matic gets away a much better punt. That one got caught up in the swirling wind, and Whiting did a nice job of fielding it. And at the 10-yard line, he's dropped by Drinkwater. We'll be right back to Las Vegas.
I'm on RF. Now you see it, tomorrow you won't. This was the scene earlier today as the construction workers prepared the Dunes Hotel to be exploded sometime tomorrow. Now, officials are not letting the media or the people of Las Vegas know when this huge explosion will take place because they don't want to attract a crowd. But suffice to say, this is going to be quite a spectacle as Boomtown, USA, Las Vegas continues to grow with more and more larger casinos replacing the old ones. Hotels sprawling everywhere as more than 4,000 people a month pour into this growing city. Now let's go back up to the broadcast booth. Chris and Dan.
Thanks, Mark. 6:45 left here in the 3rd quarter in Las Vegas. 18-12, Posse lead, and they have the football on their own 10-yard line. We mentioned earlier tonight that Dave Ridgway talked about the swirling winds here, and you saw it on the last punt return. Whiting did a good job just to bring it down.
Those punt returners really earn their money now and win like this.
I would say Gary Lewis moved quickly. Was he drawn across? Not likely from the reaction of Lewis.
No. Lewis just trying to anticipate the count, and he got the jump on it.
Maybe thought he'd picked up something on the cadence of the 21-year-old.
Offside, Saskatchewan number 79. First down repeated.
Nothing happening in the middle of the line. Las Vegas is standing tall and steady.
One of 12 veterans of the Saskatchewan team on the 89 Grey Cup winning club. So instead, 1st and 5. Hall got under one tackle. Check that Torrey right, and he spins close to the 20, close to a first down.
A gain of 4 on the play.
Looks like he went right under linebacker Gary Rogers.
He sure did at 5'8". Now there's just a cutback, and then all of a sudden Rogers is right there, has him wrapped up, but then all of a sudden he doesn't get his hands around him and wrap up both arms. Kalen Hall is able to spin out underneath that 203-pound frame of his and pick up a few extra additional yards.
Well, it's 2nd and less than a yard. They give to Hall, and not much running room off the right side, but enough for a first down. Bobby Jurison among the tacklers. Anthony Cavillo works that wristband and the set of plays.
And I'm sorry, Chris, one of the other guys getting up off the bottom of that pile was number 95. Ray Bernard is back in.
You knew he'd be back.
I did.
Cavillo, though, works very closely with Ron Meyer, who has the reputation of being a quarterback's coach, worked with young quarterbacks. Tony Eason in New England, Chris Chandler, Jeff George in Indianapolis. They've stopped the clock here. Someone's been shaken up. And it's John Knee going off, and all of a sudden, the injury's really starting to mount for Las Vegas. Knee going out, they lost Hayward Haynes earlier in the game, and in the secondary, we'll set it for you when they go back on defense, but they have lost both Maurice Kelly, a cornerback, and Calvin Nicholson. So it's Las Vegas wearing down, and the Saskatchewan fans enjoying things here at Sam Boyd Stadium. 5 minutes to go, the 3rd motion. Cavillo in the flat to Whiting, and it doesn't get there.
Pass intended for Whiting, incomplete.
It'll be 2nd and 10.
Second down and 10 at the Posse.
Getting back to what you were talking about earlier about Cavillo and Ron Meyer being very close together, and I think that's so important because he has no veteran quarterback that he can go and learn from and talk from and try to understand what's been happening. And all of a sudden, Coach Meyer has also become the veteran quarterback and also a father figure to a lot of these guys.
2nd and 10, big play for the Saskatchewan D. Pressure on! Cavillo down! Sean Brantley, check that. It's Richard Glover with the sack, and they have turned the heat up on that battered Las Vegas offensive line.
Glover coming from the top of your screen, just a speed rush outside of Claude Jones, and was able to come in from behind because Cavillo was looking out to his left, never felt the pressure coming in, and Glover was able to come up with the sack. Bobby Durson was slow getting there, but right up in the face of Cavillo.
The strong leg Robbie Keane drills a line drive. This might be a good return for Saunders at midfield. Mike Saunders, the Vegas Posse got down quick enough to meet him. But Saskatchewan will start from the Vegas 50 when we come back.
Welcome back to Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas, where the Posse lead the Roughriders 18-12. I don't know how safe this is, but we ventured up into the crowd here. They figure they've got about 10 to 12,000 fans watching this game. I'm joined by Steve White, a fan who's come out to see Canadian football. What do you think, Steve?
It's exciting. The first part of the game was really exciting. It came in, Posse started scoring 14 points, the play started going wild. Started slowing down quite a bit at the end. I mean, toward the game right now, but still, I think it's exciting.
What are the chances of filling this stadium? I mean, there are 30,000 seats here.
Well, see, I'm from Los Angeles, so when I came here, my firm, H.J. Myers, we did an underwriting, so we wanted to see how the team was going to do. As a stock, as well as professional football, people were saying if they start winning, they were going to do well, so this is the starting off.
Well, they're on their way to their 4th straight win when you include the preseason, so it looks good for the Posse.
It does look very good for the Posse right now.
Thanks for your time, Steve. Back up to you, Chris.
I can't believe it. Mark Lee goes down into the crowd and he gets besieged by Dan Kepley fans. Unbelievable. Here's Burgess airing the football out. And he was looking for Larry Thompson. Al Jordan did a nice job in coverage. 3 minutes, 39 seconds to go, 3rd quarter. Saskatchewan trailing by 6, but they get the win in the 4th quarter.
Well, I'll come back and I'll ask you a question. Normally it's the play-by-play asking the color guy a question. So, come to you. Are you surprised that they haven't gone to Elgard a little bit more?
Yeah, you would anticipate that they would have. I mean, they go to Elgard 7-8 times a game wherever it is. But tonight, they've thrown at him 2 or 3 times. He has 2 catches, still shy of the record. There's Ray Elgard, and he breaks a couple of tackles inside the 30. As the color man, you knew the exact time to ask the question.
My point is, if this guy is going to make this kind of things happen almost every time he touches the ball, then let's get the ball in his hands a few more times. He comes down and just a little move outside. All of a sudden, that Anthony Blue wants to get physical with him, but that's one thing that you can't do with Elgard.
At 7:04 now, here's Burgess looking for Narcisse. End zone, touchdown, Donald Narcisse. He caught it over Maurice Kelly. And we're tied with the point after to come.
Just great hands, straight drop back pass, fly route, just throw it up in the air, let Narcisse and his speed run underneath it. Contact going down the field about the 7-yard line all the way in. With Maurice Kelly, Narcisse winning that battle. Perfectly thrown pass.
Kelly had gone out the last series defensively for Las Vegas, and it looked like when he came back in, Burgess wanted to test him. Ridgway has just kicked Saskatchewan into the lead for the first time in the game. It's 19-18, pending a flag. Penalty call against Vegas on the convert. They will tack that onto the kickoff. 2:39 to go. Donald Narcisse, who scored the game-winning touchdown with no time left on the clock last week to give Saskatchewan that come-from-behind victory at Taylor Field over Calgary. And now, with that big pass play, 29 yards, Burgess to Narcisse here late third quarter.
Way to beat him, Michael.
There it is. You got to have a show when you're in Vegas. So Narcisse says, put it in lights. I'd hurt myself if I tried that.
He's always been able to walk the walk.
That's it.
Hey, what you say, Narcisse? No, and go.
Now just quietly goes about his business, and year after year, 1,000 yards, and key touchdowns. And he's put his Riders up in this one by a single point. There's Clark having trouble, and right now you can feel the momentum has surged behind Saskatchewan. Clark, little return, and Las Vegas will start at their own 25.
The strength and the speed right now of Saskatchewan has not seemed to be taken, as far as the heat, has not been taking any effect on it right now. They are really busting their butts to get down the field, getting around and covering these kickoff, either the punt returns or the kickoff.
First down, Cavillo over the middle. And that's Torrey Wright with the completion. And he's up to the 34-yard line. We got a little battle brewing downfield between Albert Brown and Tamarick Vanover. And they had to be separated by the officials.
Cavillo trying to take advantage and take some of that heat off that the Saskatchewan defensive front four have been putting on. So he just jumps it off over the middle very quickly to try to slow up those defenders that are rushing in on him.
First completion, second half for Cavillo. He's now 1 for 5 for 9 yards. Second down and 1, and I don't think they got it.
It's going the other way.
Sean Brantley closed the hole big time. And it's third down.
Straight man-on-man blocking. Who's the best? Who's the toughest? And all of a sudden, there's Sean Brantley that comes up. You see a good shoulder tackle up underneath Hall, and is able to knock him back. Third and very short, Chris.
And they only need a foot or two. And the fans on their feet. They like Ron Meyer gambling. Cavillo rolling. And he gets the first down. Do you believe that call on third and about a foot? Little showbiz in Las Vegas.
Take a good look. It's a gamble. This is where it's got to be. He's just going to fake the handoff inside. Watch him here. He's going to fake the handoff in here, come outside. You're going to get a good close down inside by the Saskatchewan, anticipating just a short handoff, and then he's able to break outside, get outside the containment, and run straight for the flag on the first down stick.
Fans sure liked the gamble by Meyer, and here's Cavillo taking off again. Down he goes, 45-yard line, and again it's Vanover, and this time looks like Vincent Donaldson, and they're duking it out of camera range, but Cavillo starting to go back to what he's done best tonight, and that's scramble with the football and dump it off.
Once that quarterback drops back, breaks containment out there, he puts so much pressure on the defense to have to stick with their men downfield that all of a sudden you have to wait for him to break the line of scrimmage before you can pursue. He's showing some great composure as a young quarterback.
2nd and 2, fumble off the snap. Flags are flying.
There's a fumble on the play, recovered by Cavillo. And flag on the pitch.
Turn it around.
Just take a good look right now when Cavillo is starting to come out. He wants to come out from underneath the center. Harris, much quickly before the snap is there. Harris knows he's instructed exactly when to release that ball.
Kep looked like everybody moved but Harris on that play.
Harris says, I know the count. I got the ball. Nobody can do anything until I snap it.
Yep, and in that case, procedure against Las Vegas. Instead of 2nd and 2, it's 2nd and 7. Final play, barring a penalty here in the 3rd quarter. Cavillo dumping it off, Torrey Wright. And he's met there by Miller, but will have the first down. Up at the 49 of Las Vegas, Cavillo starting to get it going again. Offensively for the Posse after a slow 3rd quarter for Las Vegas. So that's the end of the 3rd quarter here in Las Vegas. It's Saskatchewan by 1 at Sam Boyd Stadium. We're back in Las Vegas getting set for the 4th quarter with the Showgirls, Saskatchewan Roughrider fans, and a great atmosphere at Sam Boyd Stadium. I think they're enjoying this first game ever for the Las Vegas Posse in the regular season at home. Anthony Cavillo first down. He's scrambling again. Cavillo belts it as he got near the 40-yard line. Oh, he took a lick.
What a terrific play by this young quarterback. Looking downfield all the way. Tremendous composure. Good coverage by Saskatchewan in the secondary. Now he makes his mind up. He's going to make it. He's crossed the line. Now he's got some great speed. Now get down. Take a slide. No. He wants to take on Getz. Head up.
20-yard gain. First down. Vegas on the move. Kalen Hall picking his way inside the 40 and has a gain of 2. Well, here are the numbers through 45 minutes.
2nd down and 8.
And the net yards favoring Saskatchewan. Possession slightly in favor. And it all adds up to a 1-point Rider lead.
Keith Strutton with Gift Barbecue located at 27. May I help you?
If you're going to get it started in Vegas, that's where you get it started, at the youth.
Pressure on Cavillo. He's way back. Just got away. Still looking for a receiver. He's starting to look a little like Doug Flutie, isn't he? Brought down by Getz.
At this time of the game, that is the one thing that absolutely kills defenses. To have to chase around a quarterback, chasing him, and you finally have to stop him.
Brantley just missing him there. Still nobody open. Rogers tripped him up, but Getz finished it off. We've got Rogers still down on the play as the field goal unit is out for Las Vegas. Actually, a couple of riders getting attention. That's Rogers. And Sean Brantley is on one knee. I think he's just taking a breather. We've got a break on the field with the Posse ready to kick their way back into the lead.
Welcome back to Sam Boyd Stadium. Well, I've been doing some serious investigative reporting here on the sideline, and I found a Canadian angle here at the Posse game. A Canadian among the Posse cheerleaders. This is Patty
Washington Cowley. Yeah.
All right, what brings you to Las Vegas? I understand you're from Brampton.
Yeah, a lot of reasons, mainly to cheer for the Posse and make them be the best team that we can. And we're just down here for the summer and for the football season.
I understand your husband is Wayne Cowley, who is also a goalie in the Oilers organization. Chris?
And here's Huerta's field goal. And it's good. Carlos Huerta with his second field goal of the game, and the Las Vegas Posse go back out in front, 21-19.
As I said earlier, All-American, All-Academic, and tonight, All-World kicker. This guy is solid. This is the one phase of the game also that Coach Schock had said coming in that really scares him. Their kicking, as far as their punting, and also the accuracy of their field goal kicker.
Well, the field goal kickers have been impressive tonight. Ridgway perfect, and Huerta kicking that one into the wind, and the breeze has been a factor so far tonight. Most of the points have gone into the other direction with the wind, and that's Saskatchewan's edge here in the fourth quarter, although they now trail by 2. Saunders down by Lacombe. He's been an active linebacker. His 6th tackle of the game, and it's a short gain.
Lots of time, lots of yardage being taken up, but a very, very short gain. Anytime you get those guys running east and west like that, it's not going to work.
Held Saunders to 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Series for Las Vegas.
They play this press defense in the secondary. They crawl up in a guy. They can run. They got speed. They cover everybody. They force Burgess to have to pull the ball down. And then right at the last minute, Jeff Sawyer again comes in, makes a sack from behind.
Matic kicking it away. Al Whiting back to his 35 and met by a wave of green at the 38. So the Vegas Posse back in front by 2. They have the football. 11:24 to go. Despite the fact that Anthony Cavillo, for the most part, has not been able to move this team in the second half, but for that last series when he started to take off with it himself.
It's a very impressive thing to see a young quarterback like that wanting to take that responsibility on his own shoulders.
And off to Hall, finds a hole, springs into the secondary and across midfield. Jalen Hall got a block from the center, Kelvin Harris, and turned it up for a gain of 21.
Deep search again, gives it to him, and then shows some great quick feet, cutting back away from Bernard, and then all of a sudden making Drawhorn miss him, and he's able to pick up an additional 4 or 5 yards. This big offensive line of Las Vegas is able to create just that one quick hole so those real scat backs can get through there and pick up that big yardage the way they're doing.
Hall up to 100 yards in the game. And this is Sid Robinson, the third running back. And he's stopped up by Peter Miller. Robinson put into the lineup because Eric Mitchell couldn't go. Mitchell, a familiar name to Calgary fans, was expected to play, but a hamstring problem had him a late scratch.
And when you look at this offensive set again with the use of Robinson and Wright, particularly in the backfield, that is just like something we would see with Calgary coming out with their 6-pack. There's 6 legitimate receivers. Kalen Hall is the only one that vaguely kind of resembles what we would perceive a true running back.
2nd and 4, they stay on the ground and they get the first down.
Kalen Hall will ball carry.
Christian fans coming to life again because this offense is in the fourth quarter.
Long sustained possession drives like this is where it's really going to take its toll on Saskatchewan, and it'll show and see how good a condition that they are in.
Here's Cavillo in trouble. I'm not sure if that's a broken play or not. Cavillo looked at his running backs, and they seem to be going the other way on that play. And he'll confer with Ron Meyer.
Very heads-up play again. I have to reiterate how impressed I am with this young quarterback. He came out there, he was feeling heat from the backside. Glover was coming in hard on him, and all he did was throw the ball downfield in the vicinity of somebody. not trying to force it into there, and then come back and tee it up for another down.
2nd and 10. They need a few more yards to make sure Huerta is in range. Over the middle, Whiting can't bring it in. Albert Brown made contact as Whiting got his hands on the ball.
Faking the handoff inside, just a play fake, and again coming back with the deep end. The ball's thrown there. Albert Brown comes in a little late. It looked like Whiting was trying to catch that ball up against his chest and his shoulder pads, and it came off of it.
Well, the wind too stiff for Huerta to try from 51 yards out, so Keene will try to pin Saskatchewan deep. Booms one, and it will go into the end zone. Saunders concedes, and now it's a 3-point lead. 48-yard single for Robbie Keene.
Lead by a field goal out of town tonight. Toronto coming back to beat Shreveport by 1 point down in Louisiana. And up the eastern seaboard in Baltimore, it was Calgary and Doug Flutie over Baltimore and the CFLers 42-16. Next week, we are in Calgary, the CFL on CBC to broadcast the Stampeders, and Doug Flutie playing host to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and their record-setting quarterback, Matt Dunnigan. Chris?
Well, Mark, the new expansion teams 0 for 2 in home openers tonight. Can Las Vegas break the streak? Or will Saskatchewan go to 2-0 on the season? Right now, it's a 3-point Vegas lead with 8:26 left, fourth quarter. There was a choice there Rod Meyer had. Do you kick it in the end zone, get the point, lead by 3, or do you try and pin Saskatchewan deep, back them up?
I think with the effect of this Las Vegas Posse defense has had on Saskatchewan, Saskatchewan may only be able to get it into Ridgeway field goal range, and then that would be a chance to tie it up now as a tie as opposed to go 1 point ahead.
First play, Mike Saunders gains 10 and a first down up to the 46-yard line. And we have seen more rushing tonight than in the majority of CFL football games we saw last year. 12 for 77, the numbers for Saunders tonight. Well-balanced offenses, and Saunders gets another call across the 50, takes on Kelly, who takes him out of bounds. And they end up right under the bleachers.
Hey, he was holding on. Let's go.
Ray Yock trying to get both teams back on the field. But Kelly and Saunders wouldn't back down.
Well, it's awfully hard. The tight sidelines are there, and as soon as you got that momentum and you got two guys trying to chase you and tackling you, you're going to hit into those people there, and then all of a sudden they've got those tarps backed up on the other side, and you're going to get involved in there. Mike Saunders does a great job this time of getting behind. That's Chris Burns, the left tackle, who had pulled to lead him up into the hole. And then there's just some pushing and shoving going on, and Saunders trips over, it looks like the water buckets that are down on the ground. And then that debate starts again.
Second down, 5. This time they fake to Saunders. Burgess just gets it away, and it's Thompson complete, but a flag is down in the secondary.
A very late flag too, Chris.
Larry Thompson. Ball was in the air when the flag away from the play was thrown by the official.
On the play.
Elgard and Narcisse were both on the ground. So I think there'd probably be an illegal chuck downfield.
Legal contact on the receiver, Las Vegas, decline, first down.
So the Thompson catch will stand.
Sprint, kind of a throwback look. It's an over and under pattern with the two slots. And then the wide out, Larry Thompson coming up over top. You get those linebackers to bite up, and then you fall into the soft spot right behind the zone.
First down, Saskatchewan driving. Over the middle, Farthing can't squeeze the football.
First pass intended for Farthing. Incomplete, second down.
Now Dan Farthing trying to replace Jeff Fairholm, who signed as a free agent with Toronto. 3 years an understudy, and that time he couldn't squeeze it.
First pass thrown at him tonight.
Ray Yock sees his offense in field goal range, but he's looking for more. 2nd and 10. Wide open receiver. There's Farthing cutting it back down at the 23, and it's a first down. And Farthing with his first catch of the game. 17th completion for Tom Burgess.
Burgess does a great job of getting away from the rush, but the only reason this is completed also, rather than it's a good catch, is that the cornerback, Maurice Kelly, and also the half, Calvin Nicholson on that side, both collide and fall down. They left Farthing standing out there on the sideline all by himself.
Well, now they're into the range where Ray Yock wants results in the end zone. They've had to settle for field goals so far tonight. Burgess looking deep, but overthrows Narcisse. Not as much room to work with in the end zone. These end zones just 15 yards deep instead of the 20 yards. And that's a little bit of an edge to the secondary.
To his credit, though, as Burgess sprinted out to his left, and it's a sprint out throwback to the post on the backside with the wide out going. All of a sudden, the halfback on that side, Nicholson, was underneath the coverage. Maurice Kelly, the corner, was up over top. Burgess saw both of those guys there and just threw the ball away so he could tee it up again. Make it 2nd and 10.
At the 21 of Las Vegas. Out of the shotgun. Burgess. Out in the flat, Saunders taken down. Nice defensive play. Greg Tucker. And again, the field goal unit must come on, and Dave Ridgway called upon to try and tie this one up.
Solid zone defense that time by the Posse as they drop back, 3 deep zone. Let Burgess take a look at it. They're willing to give up the safety valve pass or the short pass right up over the middle, and then use that speed in that pursuit to react up and stop it short of a first down, which they did.
Dave Ridgway from 28 yards. And the perfect night continues. Ridgway 5 for 5. And we're tied at 22. Do they want to play overtime in the heat of the desert?
Story on Suter.
There's Glenn Suter, longtime holder for Dave Ridgway, who's the first to tell you Suter's largely responsible for his success.
Great hands. He gets the ball down, gets the laces around. You talk about a marriage. It's between the snapper, the holder, and the kicker on this. Suter's nickname is Pup. I told him about it. I asked him, I said, how'd you get a Pup? He said, well, when I first broke into the league, I was the absolute youngest guy on the team. And he said, but last year, Bob Price, the defensive coordinator of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, nicknamed him Senator. He said, well, because I'm a political, I'm an outspoken. He said, no. He said, because if there's ever a tabloid magazine, he said, I'm going to see your picture on it, just like the rest of the senators.
And he made the tackle. Rasavi may have saved a touchdown, but hold on. Flag is way back at the Posse 28. And that will likely negate the 65-yard
return.
Clark return.
There is a flag on the play.
Hold it. Lost. It's number 9 on the return. First down.
Well, let's see if we can see the holding. May have been Sawyer, 97.
It sure looked like Sawyer had a big hold on Brooks Finley.
Don't forget to mark July 23rd on your calendar. It's not
all for naught.
Saturday night. It's next Saturday night, the next game for your Las Vegas Posse, right here at Sandbrook.
So the penalty story evening out now. And Ron Meyer not happy that 65-yarder, which would have had his team in great shape, is called back. Anthony Cavillo still has the balls. They fake the reverse, and Cavillo tripped up at the 27 by Ron Getz.
Cavillo on a keeper.
And Cavillo has a gain of 9 and close to the first down. He does have enough to move the yardsticks.
Little bag of tricks here. Fakes the inside handoff, fakes the reverse. Gary Rogers is right there, makes the tackle on the reverse, and then Cavillo holds it up like he's going to throw it downfield. He had number 88, that was Cedric Robinson, trailing behind. There was a chance for a lateral.
First down, give to Hall, straight up the middle. And he again finds a hole and has a first down up to the 42. Well, the Saskatchewan defense didn't get tested last week against the rush.
Looking at you in your face, just a deep draw handoff. Saskatchewan anticipating pass, getting out of there, running in their zones. The linebackers had already turned their shoulders. Make it for easy blocks for those offensive linemen. And Kalen Hall makes full advantage of it.
Clock running, 3:13 to go. And they go back to Hall again. This time, nothing doing.
Hall, the ball carrier. Gain of 1 on the play.
Maybe a yard. Ray Bernard, the middle linebacker, moved up. 3:03 to go, a 22 all tie.
Remember, college class fitness equipment offers first class fitness equipment on both sides of town.
Get the water out there.
Cavillo heading to the sidelines. He will confer with Ron Meyer as a big 2nd and 9 play.
Big now. You got to come up.
Cavillo trying to understand right here with Ron Meyer exactly what he'd like to call in this situation. The last 3 plays have been running plays, deep searches. Let's see if we can hear what they're saying.
Here's Ron Smeltzer, the offensive coordinator. Ron Meyer on the sidelines. We'll come back with the 2nd and 9 call of Meyer the Posse after this. Ron Meyer and Ray Yock clashed in the 50s in the Big Ten. Meyer was a defensive back. Yock a star running back. Iowa and Purdue. And here they are, 1994, and a pretty good tussle in the home opener for the Las Vegas Posse, tied at 22. 2nd and 9, Cavillo in the flat. Completion, but a big defensive play by Aaron Ruffin, who stopped Zed Robinson short of a first down. Ruffin, a great story. He signed with Las Vegas, only to find out the contract was voided because his negotiation rights were held by Saskatchewan. Now a happy Rough Rider.
Robinson comes out of the backfield. He's got his man, Bernard, beat. And all of a sudden, Ruffin comes up and just lays a super lick on him.
Oh, Keene got a great bounce there, but Saunders retrieves it. And down at the 13. Let the ball bounce. You can get into trouble, and Saskatchewan did that time. 55-yard punt. 7-yard return.
Gentlemen, it's time for another giveaway. Please turn to the Friday ad on page 14 of your Posse Game Day program. If the Gold Sheriff badge appears in your ad, you can run in with Friday.
And there is a flag down.
He'd be holding against Saskatchewan.
And Tom Burgess going to start again in a hole. So they've marked it back to the 3. 2:26 to go. A holding call against Saskatchewan, and they are in a deep bind in this 22-22 tie. Fans on their feet, exhorting the defense. As Saunders gets to the 6, Shawnee Peoples with the tackle. I think these folks are going to come back, Kep.
I think they will. I think they'll probably go out and tell, you know, those two friends tell two friends who tells two friends, and the next thing you know, they could have a whole lot of people in here. It holds 33,000 people, and it's a good facility. It really is. You have to admit, the sidelines are a little tight, but as far as the football stadium, it's a great place to play in.
Greg Battle's out of the game. Battle's been shaken up. Second down and long. They give to Saunders, and he's wrapped up by Lacombe. And they're making noise and on their feet here at Sam Boyd Stadium.
Fired up pursuit defense. Just hands it deep on a draw play. There's nothing doing. There's 3, 4, 5 guys around on the stack. Everybody's going to get a little piece of Saunders on this play.
Couple of mistakes made. They let the punt hit the turf, then the holding call backed them up, and now Matic must kick from his end zone. Gets away a beauty. Al Whiting back to his 45, and he's running backwards. And Whiting is going to be stopped at the 45-yard line. You know, Kep, we've got some great sound at the benches tonight. The last time Whiting fielded a punt return, he went sideways, and he was addressed by the coaches, and he went sideways again.
Hey guys, I cannot hear you. I can't hear you.
But if you understand the philosophy of the punt returns in this case, where they're setting up a wall to that side, to give a little ground to try to get to the corner, then to get around behind the wall, that helps to set up the blocks of the guys coming down. If you go at a straight line, it makes it easier for the coverage guys to get down and to cut you off in their pursuit angles. So you give up a little ground to try to get behind the wall. Good pursuit by Saskatchewan, though. Didn't allow it.
60-yard punt, just 1 yard on the return. At the 46, Cavillo, hands off Robinson, into the secondary, into Saskatchewan territory, down at the 48 by Ron Getz.
Everyone in the stands are standing on their feet. They're excited. Straight dive handoff, good blocking as far as sealing off Bernard, the linebacker on the inside.
90 seconds to go, clock is now running. Both teams have a timeout to go. Carlos Huerta, about 10 yards out of his range at the moment. Robinson again, just squirts out of the hole, but not by much.
Chris, think about this. Let's set this up and anticipate maybe something. Maybe a little bit out of range of the field goal. Maybe we don't want to try it. Punter's been averaging somewhere around 48, 49, 50 yards.
The next Posse home game will be next Saturday night, July 23rd, against arch rival Sacramento.
Now, think of it now. You don't want to take a chance on a blocked field goal or maybe a missed field goal, so punt it through the end zone. Now, this may be the first time that Vegas will ever see any of this. If somebody is, you got some return guys in there and they punt it back out.
Yep.
This will be interesting for Las Vegas.
These fans may be in for a CFL treat. Being treated to a thriller. Here's the blitz. Cavillo, incomplete. And he did well just to get it away with the safety blitz from Glenn Suter. Third down, and it's Keene, the punter, coming on.
Cavillo can see this coming all the way. To his credit, he's standing right in there. He's going to take the hit. Suter's up in his face, tries to deliver the ball.
Well, the veteran Glenn Suter. 46 seconds to go. And overtime, a big possibility. Boy, 60 minutes in this heat is taxing. Keene puts it in the end zone. Saunders gets it out. Barely. .52-yard punt, but Saunders got it back 9. And Tom Burgess, at this point, has 36 seconds to kill without making a mistake.
That's the only thing they're concerned about. Let's go ahead and say we'll concede to the fact that we're going to play overtime here, but don't do anything silly or dumb to cough up this ball.
picked up at their 2, and again, the fans here at Sam Boyd are on their feet. Saunders, a little more breathing room at the 5. Roy Hart, 75's had a terrific night. Not much time off the clock. See when Vegas uses their timeout.
Right now would be a good time.
They have. So they're likely to get the ball back here if they manage the clock, and they could get a chance to try and punt it back in the end zone one last time.
That's exactly right. It would depend solely on, again, Brent Maddich has been kicking the ball extremely well the past 3 punts. If they can get a decent return in, they may be able to get one play off as far as the punt and have Keene punt this thing out of the end zone.
And again, if the score is tied, we'll have 2 5-minute halves of overtime. On an interesting night in Las Vegas to open a new era for the Las Vegas Posse at home in the Canadian Football League. Well, it's a big play. Saskatchewan needs 7 to move the yardsticks. And Saunders is not going to get it. Greg Tucker, Shawnee Peoples, Roy Hart. Nowhere for Saunders to go. Tucker's had a strong second half at linebacker for the Posse. 26 seconds left. And Maddich will run off 20 seconds here. Whiting's deep. See if he can get out of bounds and give Huerta a second to try one kick. Taking the time off the clock.
Chris, would you not think maybe sometime? We'll talk it after this play.
Good kick by Maddich, gets the bounce. Whiting taken down, time's expired. Brent Maddich did an outstanding job there.
Absolutely. I tell you, the last 3 kicks that he has done have been under unbelievable pressure deep in his own end zone. And he's averaged about 45 to 50 yards on each of those punts into a big swirling wind.
Well, we're headed for overtime. More action in the desert heat. These 2 teams tied at 22 apiece. The first overtime game in Las Vegas Posse history is next. That 57-yard punt by Brent Maddich assures that we are headed to overtime, 22-22. And on this historic night in Las Vegas for the Canadian Football League, they get the treat of an overtime in this shootout in the desert. Not sudden death, of course. And if tied after the 10 minutes of action, the 2 5-minute halves, these teams will each get a point. This is the first overtime game of the '94 season.
I just physically can't imagine how tiring this has been for all of these players out here on both sides to play 60 minutes as hard as they have been playing with this kind of heat and temperature. But to go another 10 minutes, you know something? There'll be a couple of guys down there that I may be able to buy some smaller suits off because they've lost some weight today.
Keene kicks it off. And Aaron Ruffin backpedals to his 5. Hit hard and fumbles the football just outside the 20. Riders got back on it. Anthony Blue with the first contact on Ruffin. How many times have we seen Brad Lacombe in a pile tonight? 32's done a good job.
Been all over the field. Playing very solid defense and also big special team player. Anthony Blue has been very involved too tonight. As you said, he's a hometown product.
Helmet on the football. And the Roughriders just got back on it. And Ruffin shake it up. Got the helmet right on the forearm. So the Riders get the first offensive possession in overtime. Burgess looks over the middle. Farthing with the catch up at the 40-yard line.
Pass complete to Farthing.
A couple of guys in the Las Vegas secondary looking at one another, talking about it. Could have been a missed coverage here and a mistake in the back end.
First down, Roughriders.
Farthing does a great job of going low for that ball, cupping it up and making the reception.
James Blake is now checked in the secondary in place of Calvin Nicholson. First down at the 40. And the outlet to Boyko. Bruce Boyko with his first offensive play, and Greg Tucker there to make the tackle after a short gain. Looks like Boyko got 3 on the play.
Again, Tom Burgess still wants to throw the ball downfield. Good zone coverage behind it and just dumps it off to Boyko. Quick story there. We were talking about twins in the league. Alan and Bruce Boyko played on the same team in Saskatchewan. So, Whit, if you're listening to that, that one's for you.
Here is a pass for Narcisse, complete, and the Roughriders, with 3 straight receptions, have a couple of first downs and have moved the ball into Las Vegas territory.
Sprint throw back to Narcisse on the quick post route. Gets the linebackers favoring over there, and Narcisse, being a key veteran that he is, just finding the open spot. Tommy Burgess having plenty of time to stand in there, survey the whole field, and throw the ball up there.
5th catch for Narcisse, 77 yards. Saskatchewan moving. Burgess had time, and now he runs out of it. Shanti Peoples, the outside linebacker, came around to get Burgess. That one looked like a coverage sack, though, Kep.
Good coverage down. It's a sprint. He wants to throw back. He wants to look the safety off and then come back. But he knows right away, after a certain time, whether it's a count of 2, a count of 3, or 4, that he's got to get rid of that ball. If he holds it any longer, the end result's going to be what we just saw, a sack.
So 2nd and 17 for Burgess, back on his own side of midfield. Better protection in the flat. Saunders. And he can't get by Mike Clark. Got near the line of scrimmage, the original line of scrimmage.
Tackled by number 16, Mike Clark.
But it'll be 3rd down.
Very aggressive defense. Those guys front four get off the line, get plenty of heat on Burgess upfield. They play a terrific zone behind it. Force Burgess to have to throw the ball long ways out to Mike Saunders. And then Mike Clark does an excellent job of just standing up, taking on Saunders one-on-one, holding him, and then waiting for the pursuit to come in and the rest of the guys to make the clean tackles.
Now Whiting again is deep. Matic kicking into the wind this time. Another good one. Whiting at his 2. And he gets back only to the 5, and now it's the Posse who are backed up. 50-yard punt by Matic, and a 3-yard return, 1:31 left in the first overtime half.
This is where it really takes its toll on you on the special teams. At any time, whether you play 60-minute games and you're working hard on special teams plus playing your position, but now you got to go an additional 10 minutes, and when you got to go out there and bust your buns to get down the field, as Saskatchewan is doing right now, they are showing exactly what Ray Yock said that he had been doing since training camp. Conditioning, preparing for this game.
Full marks in the conditioning department for the Roughriders tonight. Step for step with Las Vegas to this point. Cavillo in his end zone. Flag down. Zed Robinson out across the 25-yard line. But there is a flag.
Take it back for holding.
And the hole gets a little deeper for Cavillo. Tell you what, though, if the kid keeps showing that composure. Oh, wait a minute. It's going the other way.
There's no flag on the play. First down.
So the Robinson gain stands.
Straight drop back. All he wants to do is throw it over and under pattern, and he finds all of a sudden that's Robinson coming from the backfield around the two backs, circle up and cross over the center, finds him wide open. He makes a good hurdle move.
First down, give to Kalen Hall, big hole. Albert Brown blocked out of the play, and finally Hall's down inside the Saskatchewan 50. 35 yards the gain for Hall. He's broken a couple tonight.
That's a 28-yard gain.
Just deep drop, and what you get is two of the Saskatchewan defenders, Lewis and Brantley, both taking outside rushes, and that allowed Hall a huge hole right up in the middle. He's not that big, doesn't need much light anyway, but with that, he makes a big gain.
15 carries, 109 yards for Hall. Cavillo caught by Brantley. Down he goes, but Cavillo ends up with a pickup of 3 to 4 on the play. Jurison there as well.
Cavillo on the keeper. A gain of 2.
33 seconds left in the first overtime half.
Cavillo maybe at this time, I'm not telling him how to be a quarterback, but test that sprint out, try to draw the corner, break containment, see how tired those defensive linemen are.
And the flat, dangerous pass falls incomplete, intended for Whiting. Vincent Donaldson, the cornerback there.
Cover field goal! Cover field goal!
And the field goal unit is coming on. 24 seconds left in this first half of overtime. It's third down, and Huerta will try from 53 yards out.
And you heard on the sideline, cover the field goal, get down there, make sure you cover this thing.
You saw it's in his range, it's up, and it is
what a kick!
Oh, this kid is a dandy. 59 in the preseason, 54 last week. And he nailed that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis is in the building.
53 yards. The Posse back on top.
There was room to spare. Chris, this guy has got an incredibly strong leg.
The Posse horseman. And let's see how Ron Meyer reacted. They know it's not over yet, though. 20 seconds left in the first overtime half. Burgess over the middle, farthing. Little or no gain. Cut down immediately. Cedric Crawford.
Second down and 9.
More active now with Battle out of the lineup. Battle relegated to the sidelines. A serious toe injury. They didn't think he was going to play last week, but did against Sacramento. They were concerned about it again this week, and it may have taken its toll. Saunders wrapped up, and that'll do it. Greg Tucker was there to close the hole, but Saskatchewan really intent on just running out this first half of the overtime period. Now they'll change ends and have another half. And Saskatchewan will get the win. 3-point Las Vegas Posse lead. Let's join Mark.
On the sidelines, Chris, with Greg Battle. Greg, pretty exciting down here. Your home opener, and here you are, an expansion team in an overtime situation, but you guys haven't missed a beat.
we have a lot of guys that are going to work hard. They're going to work to the end. Right now, we're just in a tight battle. Saskatchewan's a great team, and we're a great team too. But I think they're having a little problem with the heat, and overtime is not helping them.
Now you got sudden death in the NFL. I noticed a lot of the guys roared off the bench with that field goal. Did they think it was over?
No. We know the rules. We know the rules. We know what's going on. We know that we have another 5-minute period, and we're going to take it in. We're going to win this one.
Unbelievable under these weather conditions that you're in overtime here and still playing well. What about your own physical situation? You're not playing.
Well, I think I broke my left hand, and then I pulled a groin, so I'm out probably for hopefully just one game.
Oh, that's really too bad. Sorry to hear that, Greg.
It's okay. I'll be back.
All right. Thanks a lot. Back up to you, Chris.
So more than just the toe problem that had concerned the coaching staff. A couple of problems for Battle. And I'm impressed with the way the Posse has battled without him on defense. And now have that 3-point lead. And now Saskatchewan will kick off to Las Vegas. So the Posse may be working against the wind, but they get a chance to really run out the clock here.
It's a wonderful delight to sit up here and watch a bunch of young players like this with so much enthusiasm, guts, and hustle that are going out there. These guys are rallying around the colors of the Las Vegas Posse, and they are rising to the challenge right now. You could see at the end of that first 5-minute overtime period, the Saskatchewan guys coming off the field, and to their credit, they have played their hearts out, but they are dragging. They are playing right now, I think, on pure emotion.
And they got to play for 5 more minutes. Mike Clark up across the 30, lost the football. Who's on it?
They call Las
Posse
Vegas.
Got it back. What a break that would have been. 25-yard return by Clark. And it looks like James Blake came up with the football. See where there's the ball coming loose as Ray Bernard stripped it free, but the Riders couldn't get on it. And now Cavillo, he has the lead. He'd love to work some time off the clock. Hands it off to Hall, 100-yard runner in the game. And he adds to the totals with a lot more. Kalen Hall, the Las Vegas high school product, again sprung free by the center Kelvin Harris with a big block on Bobby Jurison. 36 yards that time.
Just gives it deep to Kalen Hall. And again, it's that search play, and he just finds the open area, and he shows no sign of fatigue with that quick burst of speed. The Saskatchewan defense is really showing some of the ill effects of the heat right now, and probably being very fatigued in their pursuit.
That's Vanover down. And this may give the Saskatchewan defense a much-needed break. Yep, that defense looks a little frazzled right now.
It's a tired gang right there. They have battled and battled and battled, and probably given it everything that they possibly can. But there's hope right there that there's somewhere, there's just a little gas left in that tank for them.
You wonder what kind of effect it'll have even in the following week.
You get a good look right there. Look at the eyes of Bobby Jurison. That's a very intense player. Solid, committed to this game.
Next week, Jurison and the Riders against Toronto. Ray Yock said that it's really critical for this team to get off to a good start because of the schedule. 6 of their first 7 games against teams from the West. In fact, after week 7, they're finished with Calgary and Edmonton for the regular season. So if they can get through the first half at 500 or better, he feels they're really in good shape. They're trying to go 2-0, but they're down here in overtime to Las Vegas. Here's Robinson driving over the 40 down to the 39, maybe the 38, and a pickup of close to 5. And Ron Myers shuttling in running backs with plays.
Cover field
That's Torrey Wright going back, and the field goal team alerted that they may be called upon here if Cavillo doesn't call a first down play.
Big body on big body. This is where it really wears you out in the trenches.
I would expect Kalen Hall again, the way he's run the football. And that's the call from Meyer, and Kalen Hall delivers to the 24. First down for the Posse. And now Hall is slow to get up.
First down, Posse.
Counter trap is all it is, and then just give it to Kalen Hall. Deep, good quick feet, excellent blocking as he turned up the field by Claude Jones, who gets up in the hole, creates a bigger hole for Kalen Jones to get up in there. Kalen Hall, I should say. And Kalen is just showing unbelievable conditioning and bursts of speed when he makes his cuts.
He can turn on a dime.
Hey, this guy has got a couple of warp speeds that we haven't seen yet.
They're working on his left leg. What an evening for Hall, now up to 161. First week of the season, Michael Richardson with 155 yards, the only 100-yard rushing game. And now they are inside the Saskatchewan 25-yard line. Actually, it's the first time they've been inside the 25 all night. Their 2 touchdown passes coming from outside that red zone.
One thing, getting back again to Cavillo, the quarterback, this guy has shown tremendous composure for such a young quarterback. Very talented. I've been very impressed with his play selection.
Let's recap what we've seen tonight already. And the Argos coming from behind to spoil the Shreveport home opener. 35-34 thriller for the Argonauts, evening their record. And Doug Flutie put on a show for the fans in Baltimore, spoiling the CFLers home opener before over 40,000.
As I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, they got a wake-up call in the first game of the season this year as opposed to the 11th game of the season last year. And there's nothing like it. Once that you've had the taste of winning and being a Grey Cup champion and being part of it, you're not contented with anything less than that. You have to get back to there.
Well, this is a shame. Kalen Hall being carried off. He's getting a standing ovation, but that doesn't look good for a guy who has been so brilliant in this game tonight. When you start a franchise like this, you want a couple of star players that the fans can identify with, and we've seen Cavillo and Hall, 2 guys that could really be crowd favorites here. So it's first down. Vegas without their star running back. They give it up the middle to Zed Robinson. 5, touchdown. Well, he did his Hall impersonation and may have put it out of reach.
Robinson comes off of that left side just behind Cronenberg, the center, that does a great job. You got Harris, who moved over from center to tackle, and then he makes a move, boom, right there, just a little zigzag, and leaves Albert Brown falling on the turf, gets it in for the major.
Zed Robinson out of UNLV. And the extra point is good, and it's now 32-22. And they are celebrating at Sam Boyd Stadium. Well, Ray Ray Yock had his team up to the task of 60 minutes. A courageous night here in the heat. But the overtime has belonged to the home squad.
You have to be somewhat climatized to this weather around here, as Las Vegas would be. But the way that they've played, with the intensity that Vegas has played also, this heat has taken a tremendous toll on them. For whatever reasons, they've just risen just a little bit above that.
Well, if this score stands, it'll be 4-0 for this new team. 2-0 in the preseason. Win over Sacramento on the road, and they are 234 away from a win in their home opener.
In that case, Coach Meyer, every conference call that he has and every press conference, he'll be more than glad to tell all the crying about how his poor team's not doing when he's 4-0, 5-0, possibly 6-0, huh?
Yeah, he didn't like the way his team was preparing this week when we talked to him, but hard not to like the results. They'll have to kick it over again.
Legal kickoff. Play hard, guys, like the first quarter. Play hard right away.
It's appropriate to caution that this is not over yet. This team had a 9-point lead. Check that 16-point lead with a couple minutes to go in Sacramento and almost saw it disappear. You wonder how much is left in the tanks of the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
As I just taken a good look across the field and seeing on the sideline and a couple of the guys on the field, you can see a lot of low-hanging heads right now. And it's very unfortunate to see, because these guys have truly played their hearts out tonight.
Booming kickoff, Larry Thompson inside his 10. Nice run back by Thompson, out to the 40-yard line. Brad Lacombe, 32 there again on specialty teams. Anthony Blue around the football again. 31-yard return. And the tackle by 32.
First down, Saskatchewan.
And this will put a bit of a damper on any victory celebration that Vegas might have tonight. Their star running back being carried off. Ice on the knee.
Posse has played very good, sound pass defense, so it's going to be tough for Tom Burgess to put this ball down the field.
They get a hand on that one, and it falls incomplete. Shawnee Peoples got the hand up and blocked the pass. We're getting an encouraging report on Hall that it might be only a twisted knee, and I say only because it looked a lot worse than that, but that would be the good news.
Shawnee Peoples coming in scot-free. Nobody's putting a block on him. Gets the hands up right at the last minute. Las Vegas will be very contented defensively to lay back in the zone, make them throw the 4 or 5 yard passes, and then just pursue and react up to it.
2nd and 10 for Burgess. Here comes the rush. Burgess throws it across field, and Ray Elgard has another catch. Elgard trying to break tackles. And there's a flag down back in the area of Burgess, the quarterback. And Elgard, for all that battling, got a gain of 1. But let's see what the flag's all about.
Could be roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer, Las Vegas. First down.
Tommy's just scrambling around all over the place. Ray Elgard, his veteran player, knows to get in line somewhere. Watch the strength and the power. He's keep working and working. Now he's looking actually for somebody to maybe lateral the ball to. Nobody's there.
They let the clock run down, and now they're going to tack 18 seconds back onto the clock and put it up to 1:30.
At the 55.
And Elgard with his 4th catch of the game is now at 7:05. He's 1 away from tying. Rocky DiPietro for the all-time pass receiving title. Here's Elgard, and he's got the catch again. Number 706, and he's wrapped up. And so there is one bit of unfinished business here with 1:02 to go. All Elgard cares about at this point is a Saskatchewan comeback, but he's at 7:06.
This can be something right now. Unfortunately, Ray is not a me kind of guy. He's a team player, and he would certainly, as you said, like to see the victory for the team as opposed to his individual record. But if it's got to come, let's get it done. Let's go to him.
Elgard's put the knee down right now.
I understand.
With 1:02 to go. 32-22.
You just can't fathom the thought of actually playing under these conditions when you're 100%, when you're in the best physical, mental shape that you can be. But to come in and be questionable with the flu and not be strong.
Well, that's his wife, Gina, in the crowd. Now Ray's up, Ray Yock out to confer with him. He has tied Rocky DiPietro. Will he be back to try to break the record?
Their next game's at home. Kind of sets up the dramatics, doesn't it?
I'll tell you what.
And I think that's very, because I think the people of Regina and Saskatchewan deserve to see that at home if they can.
Well, I don't think Ray's taken himself out of this game, but he'd only want to break the record if it was in a drive to win the game. Here's Burgess throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete to Donald Narcisse.
Burgess pass intended for Narcisse, incomplete. Bring it down.
Chris, I think you're exactly right. He certainly wouldn't take himself out if this was in a situation where the outcome of the game was still somewhat in question.
45 seconds left. Second and 10, Burgess. Going for Larry Thompson. Thompson down near the 10-yard line. 37 seconds to play. Clark with the tackle, and Tom Burgess will try to get it into the end zone. Elgard watching from the sidelines. 34 yards to Larry Thompson. And he has had another terrific game for Saskatchewan. 6 catches, 117 yards. Well, get it into the end zone. Think about it, a short kick. Here's the try into the end zone, and it's incomplete. Narcisse stretched out. Well, these Riders aren't going without a fight.
Incomplete. Second down and 10.
Again, Tommy Burgess just steps back, and it's just a quick post pattern all the way deep to Narcisse, about 2 feet out past his outstretched arms. Now you can imagine, again, the kind of conditioning that these receivers have to be in, because they're running 20 and 30 and 40 yards every play somewhere.
Second and 10. Burgess brings it down. Now throws in the end zone, and it's picked off. Al Jordan with the interception. Jordan ended up with the fumble recovery last week. In the dying seconds, the ball stripped by Battle, and he effectively ends this one with an interception with 12 seconds to go.
That's a 16-yard interception to Curry.
Tommy Burgess wanted to go to the wide side of the field, and Narcisse again, or even Crefo, who was in the slot that time. He saw Thompson open just for a split second deep in the corner. Tried to get the ball into him, but Al Jordan wouldn't have anything to do with that. Made a good break back on the ball, came up with a big pick.
So they're celebrating in Las Vegas. The Posse will run its record to 2-0. Saskatchewan will fall to 1-1. And Cavillo and company will run out the clock.
Robinson, the ball carrier. Gain of 3.
And under the assumption Cavillo doesn't throw another pass, we wouldn't think so now. He'll finish 13 of 27, 182 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he's yet to throw an interception in 2 CFL regular season games. Also rushed 6 times for 48 yards. And the clock's run out. This will be the final play. And the Las Vegas Posse finish off a 32-22 victory. Ron Meyer's got a 2-0 unbeaten football team.
Hard-fought battle out there, really gutsy move, and Cavillo came out and established himself in the Vegas team very early. 2 big touchdowns, gambling, big plays. But then when they had to go in and had to get possession drives, they were very capable of doing that. And I was very impressed with both the offensive line, the running backs, and primarily the way that this defense plays. Let's go down to Mark.
I'm with Ron Meyer. Ron, 4-0, including the preseason. You're raising eyebrows all over the CFL. Can you tell us about the quick study you and your players have been in the Canadian game?
Well, it's a great game. As you know, our guys have learned, our experienced CFL coaches that we brought in have been a tremendous help. And then the leadership of Battle and Corbin and Hart have been great because they've been in the league. And we got a bunch of young rookies that just fly around and make things happen. They're fun to coach.
That's the scary thing. You're so young and you're still learning and you're winning.
Well, we've been fortunate. Let's hope we keep it going. Saskatchewan's really a fine football team. They played very well tonight.
Congratulations, Ron. Ron Meyer learning the Canadian game very quickly as his Posse win in overtime. The final score 32-22 over the Saskatchewan Roughriders. We'll be back to wrap up right after this at a noisy and exuberant Sam Boyd Stadium. They're celebrating at Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas. The Posse win their home opener tonight, 32-22, the final score. And so the Posse prevent a sweep of expansion teams tonight in the CFL. Shreveport, the Baltimore CFLers losing tonight, but the Posse here in Las Vegas, big winners by 10 points over the experienced Roughriders. A big day tomorrow for CBC. We started off at 9:30 a.m. with the British Open from Turnberry, Scotland. Then at 1:30 Eastern, it's the Molson Indy from Toronto. Robbie Gordon, the pole sitter there. Later in the afternoon, 4 o'clock Eastern, Ron McLean, Ernie Afghanis, Bob Tolman will bring you the Calgary Stampede. And then it's our prime time Stampede special coming your way at 8 o'clock, local times, 9 Atlantic. We're back next week, the CFL on CBC. From Calgary, it's the Blue Bombers versus Doug Flutie and the Stamps. Live coverage beginning Saturday, next Saturday. More golf at 3 at the Skins game. There's a new game in town in Las Vegas. It's the Posse, and they win big tonight. For all of us, so long from Las Vegas, Nevada.
CBC Sports, home of the champions.